The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Testing 1, 2, 3, testing. Are we on? Can everybody hear me okay? Please answer in the question box and we will start in a few seconds. Awesome. Hey, Tim, what do you know? People actually showed up for this webinar.
Yeah, hey, crazy, right?
They didn't go to work and decided to join us. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. So I'm looking at the questions box. I don't see anything. Where am I looking in the wrong place?
Yeah, well, actually, let me make you organizer.
Yeah, do that. I wanna see stuff. What's up, everyone? How you doing? All right. Where's everyone hailing from this fine day? It is beautiful here in Florida. It rained all night and stormed all night, but the sun just came out and it's probably about 70 degrees here. So I want to hear about all the cold places everyone is at.
Oh, yeah? Well, it's 80 degrees in LA. Take that.
Oh yeah? Yeah, I don't know exactly what the temperature is here. Check.
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria, welcome. It is, let's see here,
Sonoma County.
70 degrees exactly. Dang.
Arizona. Greece. Someone's coming from Greece.
Very cool. New Zealand. Where in California, Jamelia? Houston. Northern California, Oakland. Okay, I used to live in the Bay Area. I lived in the Tri-Valley area for some time. My dad's actually next to you in, what's the city right next to Oakland? Alameda. So, very cool. North of San Francisco. Yep, know the area, definitely. Very cool. All right, so Fernie, it looks like we're top of the hour. I guess we can get started. You want to kick it off?
Yeah, let me make you presenter. Hold on.
I could do that. Sweet.
All right, guys. Well, welcome. This is actually a very rare day webinar. I don't know. Maybe Tim does more of them, but this is new to me. Let me see. What time is it here? 10 a.m. So the morning webinar for me. Very excited about the things we're going to share today, especially since we did not record the last webinar. The reason why is because this is an interactive experience, and we want to be able to interact and get to know you a little bit. And so Tim is my original mentor, believe it or not. I've come a long way since I was a young buck learning this internet marketing stuff, brand new like most of you on this webinar. And long story short, now I have the privilege and honor of calling my mentor my business partner. And without Tim, I would not be where I am today. I would not know the marketing secrets that he's about to impart on you. And the truth is, this internet marketing stuff, lead generation for whatever business, is a lot easier than you think. And we've proven it and been able to take just about anybody, regardless of their age, experience level, and have them produce results on the spot. And so the instant results formula that Tim's about to share is the original formula that I learned when I first got started online. So without further ado, Tim, thanks for being on, and it's an honor to be here with you.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much for the intro, and everyone else, welcome. Looks like we're just about at what I projected as far as turnouts. That's great. It's good to have you all on. I know we've got people from all around the world. So for those of you calling in, at the wee hours of the morning, really appreciate you being here and taking the time to really invest in yourself and in your business. So that's fantastic stuff. For those of you that are calling during the day or coming in during the day, I'm going to assume you're either not a 9-to-5er or maybe you're already part-time, but I'd actually like to find out who I'm talking to. So let me ask you guys this. How many of you here on this webinar today or tonight or this morning, whatever the case may be, how many of you are full-time internet marketers, affiliate marketers, network marketers, or just full-time online? Raise those hands, type it in the box, whatever works for you. I just want to get an idea. Okay, how many of you are just working a job, but you just happen to be off right now, or not at work, or maybe on a break? Full-time online, Kelly. Okay. Jamelia's at work. Awesome. Full-time business owner, on a break, have a job. Okay, cool. Real estate broker, looking for leads online. Okay, great. Well, you're in the right place. That's fantastic. That's good to know. I really like to understand who I'm talking to, and it just makes it more fun to have a little bit of a conversation rather than me just preaching here. Jamelia trying to fire your boss. I hear ya. How many of you here are like Jamelia and just want to fire your boss? You want to get rid of the job. You're tired of commuting in traffic. You're sick and tired of waking up to an alarm clock. You want to spend more time with your family. You want to earn more income so that you have the kind of freedom. You want to be able to travel more. You want to be able to buy the cool toys. Raise your hands, type in the box. Let me know if you're in any of those situations. Okay, very cool. All right, awesome. Well, you're definitely in the right place, because that's what we're going to talk about here. And what this is all about is your success and lack thereof in some cases. And in fact, the interesting thing is that we've actually, over the years, and you're going to hear the story about how No Excuses Summit came to be. You're going to hear some really valuable content that we've really only shared on one previous webinar outside of our $5,000 to $40,000 group. So the stuff you're going to get today is absolutely valuable. It can be used immediately and implemented immediately to get you from where you are right now to actually being able to fire your boss, being able to quit your job, being able to stay at home, spend more time with your family, and you can do it in a relatively short time. Now, I will say this little disclaimer here. Results always are dependent on several factors. I'll go over some of those factors here on this training. One of those factors, though, is actually following through and committing to your success. And the interesting thing is, and I'm sure, Fernie, you'd agree, that when we've worked over the years with our clients, our attendees, our workshop attendees, that the biggest factor that holds people back, that really keeps them from pushing forward and getting results in business, has absolutely nothing to do with skill set, has nothing to do with learning tactics, has nothing to do with any of that stuff. In fact, 90% of it, Fernie, would you agree with that, is the shit that's between our ears? Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, I see zero correlation between what people knew before and their success level. I've seen people go from absolute zero, knowing nothing about this business, all ages, and just hitting it out of the park and seeing some very intelligent people struggle. The reason why is because it's not intelligence. It's, I don't know, what would you call it? The shit between their ears. What's another way of putting it?
I would say inner game. I would say mindset. And so you nailed it, dude. And you know, it's funny because we've tried before to offer products and, you know, coaching for really getting your head straight and getting your over the barriers, the stupid beliefs that a lot of us have, the blocks, the things that hold us back. And we've offered these types of things before, but it's interesting because people, it's not as sexy as, say, the latest and greatest traffic tactic. It's not as sexy as, you know, lead generation. It's not as you know, fun sounding as you know, learning how to you know, convert sales. It's just not as cool sounding, yet it's what people need more than anything else. And so just a real quick thing, I want to go, I'm going to jump around a little bit here, and I want to keep this really, really interactive. There's not a lot of people on this daytime webinar, so I'm going to kind of make a call to make this a little bit more interactive so that we can actually get some dialogue going here. And I want to address you where you're at, if that makes sense. And so I saw a lot of your answers. I took my camera off here because I want you to really focus on what I'm going to share with you. I saw a lot of your answers, and I kind of have an idea of where most of you are at. Most of you right now are at a job, or maybe you don't have a job right now, but for the most part, you're at a job. You dislike your job. You're ready to get rid of it. And you came into this business for a reason. You came into this business for a reason. And I'm just going to take a wild stab in the dark because I've never asked this question before. I say that tongue in cheek, of course. But I will assume that you are currently in this business because you want to gain financial and time freedom. And that's the way to sum it up. But there's something more, because what really does that mean to you personally? It's a little bit different. And for each person, that's going to be a little bit of a different answer. For some of you, security is a huge thing. You just don't feel safe or secure having your livelihood and your life and your future in the hands of an employer, a company. It's outside of your control. You don't have ownership over your income and what you can earn. And we've seen this before. We've seen companies lay people off. We've seen recessions, possibly a depression on the horizon. I won't get into that because I don't want to depress everyone. No pun intended. But, some of you are here because you want that security. Others are here because you're sick and tired of missing out on the most precious moments of your children's lives. And that's me. That's where I was at. I started out in this business with very young children, and I felt like, you know what? I am traveling around trying to sell insurance. I'm all over the state of California. I was living in California at the time, and I just didn't even get to see my family. It was like I was missing out on everything. And so for me, that was a huge motivator. That was a huge reason for wanting to get into this business. The other thing I hated doing, I absolutely despised, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way, is getting up and, rushing out the door, waiting in traffic, all that crap that you have to do to go to a job that you probably don't like doing. I mean, it's so rare that people actually like their jobs. And you know what? It's sad. It's sad because we spend most of our waking hours doing a job that we hate, doing stuff that we're not, where we feel unappreciated, where we feel like we're not really contributing, we're not living up to our full potential, and it's just sad. And so you're here, and I commend you for this, because you want to make a change. And that is the reason for you being here. That's the reason I'm here, is because I want to help you make that change. And I know it's possible for every single one of you right here listening to this training, that it is possible for you. You may have been on training webinars before, you may have been at events before, and you get excited, you get jacked up, and then as soon as that webinar is over, you kind of lose the motivation and the drive and the belief. And so I want to let you know that there's a difference between being motivated and inspired. And so back to the mindset stuff, I'll bring it full circle right now. To stay inspired, you have to get to the crux of the bigger reason for wanting to have the kind of business that gives you the kind of freedom that you're looking for. And you want to have that staring at you in the face every single day, whether you do that in the form of a vision board, whether you do that in the form of pictures, whether you do that in the form of affirmations, or having your goals written and pasted somewhere above your computer or where you're in your workspace, whatever works for you that gets you into that emotional state of just, this is where I'm going, and a commitment level of, there is no other option for me except to be successful. That's what you need to do. And again, if you do that, you're going to be unstoppable. There's no tactic or formula or anything else that really matters, because everything else is going to fall into place when you have that kind of conviction, that kind of commitment to your success. Does that make sense, everyone? Now, I want to ask you, how many of you here right now are 100% committed to getting the kind of lifestyle, to getting the time freedom, to firing your bosses, to making this your new occupation where you're allowed to work anywhere you want, anytime you want, and you actually enjoy what you're doing, and you make not just a living, but you actually create wealth in your life? How many of you are committed in 2014 to make this a reality for you? I want to hear a yes, I am, I'm in, raise your hands. Again, interaction is really, really crucial to me. Fantastic. I've got most of you raising your hands. Okay, cool. I'm in. Thank you, Evan, Jamelia, Mike. Okay, great, guys. So that's the kind of commitment level that you have to have in order to create momentum, forward momentum. And the hardest part, and Fernie, I'm sure you'd agree with this, the hardest part is making that first $1,000 per month. And by the way, how many of you here have a goal? And I always hear the average is about $10,000 per month. How many of you here have a goal to make right around $10,000 per month?
Me.
Because that's a good start. And I'll share this with you. My goal was to make $10,000 per month, my initial goal. And I struggled, I floundered, I failed. And you know what I did? I adjusted my goal and I said, you know what? I'm going to try to make, not try, I'm going to make my first $1,000 profitability. All profit, $1,000 pure profit in my business. And once I did that, I was like, holy shit, this works. I can actually make $1,000. I'll bet you I can double that. And when I did it was 2,000. Then I was like, well, I could do 5,000, and I did 5,000. I could do 10,000, and then from there on, it got easier. But the most difficult part was getting that forward momentum and getting to my first $1,000. Because what happened when I got to that $1,000 is my belief level completely shifted. So before it was more wishful, it was more hopeful. And I was still driven and I had desire, but it wasn't until I got my first $1,000 and I was like, holy crap, I made $1,000 that my belief level went boom. And I knew at that point that I could make this happen. And going from 1,000 to 10,000 was 10 times easier than going 0 to 1,000. Fernie, did you have a similar experience with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I got stuck at making $1,000. For me, it was a little different. My first 1,000 took me a few months, but then I got stuck there for a very long time, and it was so hard to break that $1,000 per month ceiling. And it took me a while, and it was all like you said, in between my ears.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm here to tell you, Fernie's here to tell you that this is about you really taking that approach to your business, that you're going to be 100% committed to making this your year. And on this training, you're going to have everything you need. From a strategic standpoint, you're going to know what to focus on. You're not going to be distracted as easily. You're not going to feel as overwhelmed. And again, take to heart what I'm going to share with you. Take to heart what Fernie's going to share with you, because you have to understand the context or the strategic portion of building a successful business in order for the tactics to even make any sense, because it's everything else, all the tactics, all the shiny objects, you can be either a victim of influence or you can be influential. And the difference is, number one, in between your ears, the mindset piece, and then number two is strategy. And so we're going to give you the blueprint, the strategy, the plan for going from where you are, whether you're just starting out, whether your first $100, whether you got stuck at $1,000 like Fernie, doesn't matter. You can get to your goal extremely quickly. We've had people, and you'll hear stories about them today, that have gone literally in 90 days to making several $1,000s per month right after attending No Excuses, a summit, or even more of a success rate of people that have come from our workshops that went for $5,000. And they got that as a result of not the tactics. Yes, they were important, but the context of where those tactics fit in. And really quick, I want to just take the temperature once more. How many of you have, at one time or right now, feel overwhelmed? You feel kind of stuck. You don't know where to go. You don't know how the pieces of the puzzle fit together. You're unsure of what you should be focusing on right now to get you to reach those goals that you said you wanted to do a moment ago. How many of you feel that way or have felt that way in the very recent past? Okay, good. Most of you are raising your hands. And I'll let you know, 100% totally normal. You're not the only person to ever feel this way. Every single person I know of, every person I've coached, every 6-figure, 7-figure, and 8-figure person I know that's running successful businesses has been exactly where you are. And here's the unfortunate thing, is most people get stuck there because they don't have that plan or strategy, and it's impossible. There's two things you need. You need the desire and the commitment, right? and then you need a proven plan for moving forward, for getting you from where you are to where you want to be. It's not enough to have the desire to get a ship from one port to another port. You got to map it out. You got to chart the course. You got to be able to navigate the waters and get there, and that's what the strategy piece is all about. So I'm going to cuss once in a while. You probably already heard a couple S-bombs, no F-bombs yet, but I just want to let you know I don't really like to hold back on these things. I get passionate about this topic because this is about changing lives. This is about living your life to your full potential, and there's nothing more important than that. And so sometimes when I get passionate, I drop a few F-bombs here and there. I'm going to try to keep it, not too crazy, but I want to let you know that I'm also not going to mince any words. I'm not going to hold back. And if I need to call bullshit on stuff, on beliefs, I'm going to do that. And I do that at our workshops often. And what I'm doing, it's important to understand the intention. And Fernie's seen this happen before at workshops. It's really important to hold my intentions in the correct regard, in positive regard. And so the question that you can ask yourself is, what is my intention for calling bullshit or for being passionate about something? And is it to be condescending? Is it to be insulting? Or is it possibly to help shift and to help you grow and to help you have a realization and a breakthrough? And so it's really important when you're listening to people and you can sense their true intentions. I mean, how many of you have been taught before and you've had arrogant instructors or teachers or bosses who've taught you things and you just felt their arrogance flowing forth and you're like, holy shit, this dude or this lady is so, yeah, exactly, hands are going up. So my intention is not of arrogance. It is of really wanting to empower you to live the best life that you can live, to have the kind of freedom that you said you wanted. And so I say this is for adults only. I say I drop a few F-bombs. That's absolutely true. However, my intention is to help you. So I want to share with you today the 100% success method and how it came to be, because I don't know of anywhere else or anyone else who is able to create 100% success with getting anyone starting from scratch to actually achieving results. And there was a really a long journey of getting there. I also want to share the 3 BHAPs. I'll tell you what BHAPs are in a moment. These BHAPs are something you absolutely must overcome. Talk about the 3-step plan for getting results fast. Okay, this is the faster you get this 3-step plan implemented, the faster you're going to get results. You're going to hear all about that. I'm going to talk to you about the money skills required for achieving 6 figures and what a 6-figure business looks like. And it's actually a lot more simple. Fernie said this earlier. He said it's a lot easier than most people think. And then the one and only shortcut for getting there fast. There's really only one shortcut for getting there, and I'll talk about that. So expectations, we'll be on for about 90 minutes. I'm gonna jam through a lot of this stuff, so prepare to take notes. This will not be recorded, so you will need to take the notes. You will need to really participate, eliminate distractions, and be present for me. Again, we're talking about your future. We're talking about what it takes to get to where you want to be in your life, in your business, to have the kind of dream life you've always wanted. And I might be sharing things with you that you've never heard before, and they might even sound controversial to some of you, or they might conflict with some of your beliefs. All I ask is that you come to this with an open mind. And one of the things that I've always lived by, a motto I've always lived by, is I'll never listen to somebody who's not where I want to be. And so the question I will ask you is, are Fernie and myself, are we where you want to be in your lives and businesses? I can tell you how awesome my life is. I'm not going to go into that. I will say this, though. There is nothing, absolutely nothing, like having complete freedom, time and financial freedom. There's nothing else in life that's as beautiful, as fulfilling, and as gratifying as having the ability to not only have that kind of freedom, but to be able to be on purpose and to teach people and help people achieve that same kind of freedom. And how many of you want that? How many of you really want to have that? All of you, right? Hands are going up. Of course you do. That's the reason you're here on this training. And I could, again, commend you for that. That's what this is all about. So Q&A will be at the end. So the content here is going to go on for about 90 minutes. We've got, what, an hour and about a little over an hour of jamming through this stuff. I'm going to share with you. It's going to feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose. You're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed. Totally normal. I say this in the workshops that we run all the time. The first 2 days, the first day and a half, you feel tired. You feel challenged. Sometimes you even have a headache. And the reason is because you're actually creating new neural pathways in your mind. And I would be concerned if you didn't feel challenged. I would be concerned if you didn't feel like it was overwhelming. Because if without discomfort, there can't be growth. How many of you agree with that, by the way? How many of you have been in a situation where you've had a major breakthrough, or you've really felt like you've accomplished something, but right before that, it required you to get uncomfortable. It required you to really step out on a limb, take a leap of faith of some sort, or do something that was unknown to you or uncomfortable to you. How many of you have had that experience? Well, think back to your proudest moment, to where you've had a breakthrough. It doesn't even matter if it's a huge breakthrough. It could be just, being feeling like, oh my gosh, I can be a good mom, or oh my gosh, I can, whatever it is. However, it's always scary at first, right? And so that's the kind of thing we're talking about here. That's where breakthroughs start, is they start with getting uncomfortable. And when you're learning a new skill set, when you're actually committed to getting that kind of success that we talked about, it's going to take massively getting uncomfortable. And there's a difference between being uncomfortable and unsafe. And I want to let you know that fear stands for future events appearing real. And most people let fear stand in the way of success because they have all these things. There's two reasons that they don't move forward. It's because future events appearing real, they think, oh my gosh, this could happen, that could happen. So they get paralyzed by their fear, and also they're afraid of failure. And none of that's real. Okay, the worst thing that can happen, what's the worst thing that can happen if you say, you know what, I'm going to get a capture page up and an ad up? The worst thing that could happen is you spend a few dollars, because we're going to share with you the simple thing about getting these how many of you are technophobes? How many of you have let technology stand in your way? I'm going to take hands down. And really, that's been the big sticking point for you. It's like, oh my gosh, I got to get a website up. I've got to get ads. This sounds complicated. Okay, I'm going to share with you how you can get a capture page set up. It might take you 15 minutes your first time, but you can do it literally in 5 minutes. A step-by-step system for getting a capture page up. And guess what? An ad, same type of thing. 5 to 10 minutes getting an ad up like that. How many of you, if I could show you that, I'm not going to be able to get into the specifics on this training. I'll tell you where you can watch videos or whatever, where you can see how it's done. But it's really easy. Now, once you have that in place, you've taken a portion of your sales funnel in your control, and you're able to build a list and get more into profitability. How many of you, if you could see it just done for you, like if you could see it step by step, how many of you would that make a difference for? How would your belief level shift if you could just say, oh my gosh, that wasn't that hard? And so people let fear stand in their way because they think it's going to be harder than it is, and then they realize when they actually do it that the perception or the belief was way worse than actual reality. That's technology. That's technology. So a lot of people use that as an excuse. Well, it's this that is the real reason you're not moving forward. It has nothing to do with the technology itself. So that's one thing I wanted to address there. Now, let's move on. I don't want to get too much into this. Most of you know who we are. I've built 8 figures in online. I've built companies that have done 8 figures in online sales. Fernie and Ray have done 7 figures, multiple 7 figures in sales. I have students that have done 6, 7, and multiple 8 figures in sales in their businesses. Ray and Fernie have students that have done 6 and 7 figures in their businesses. They have students that are very successful right now that you've heard the names of, that they've taught some of their traffic secrets to, that are literally crushing it right now. Basically, it's one thing to be successful yourself, but the real litmus test, and I'm sure you'd agree with this, the real litmus test is helping other people become successful. Like if you can do it, that's awesome. But the real success is when you can empower other people to do the same. Well, we've done that many times over, and in fact, the system you're going to hear about, the 100% system, is all about getting results. Because let's just face it, only results even make any difference at all. And you're going to hear me say this a lot. Everything else is bullshit. Results are what matter. That's what this is all about, is you getting results finally. Whether you're sick and tired of struggling, scrambling, or you're just getting started, let's cut through the bullshit. Let's get some results, and let's get them fast. That's what this is all about. So let me share with you kind of how we developed the 100% success system. And myself, I think it's 2001 or 2002 that I started actually teaching people through courses and whatnot. How to do specific things when it comes to building online businesses, and I've built different companies serving different niches. So everything from financial help to software to coaching to I've sold a lot of stuff, and the processes and systems are pretty universal. They apply almost everywhere. Direct response marketing applies almost everywhere. And so I took those principles and I put them into courses. And here's the most frustrating thing, and Fernie, I'm sure you'd agree, the most frustrating thing is it's great to have bookshelves with cool books on them. It's awesome to have a hard drive full of knowledge, but knowledge doesn't get you anywhere if it's never applied or utilized and followed through with. And so my biggest problem and my biggest challenge has always been, how can I actually get people to get results? And Fernie and I have had that conversation before. Ray and I have had that conversation before. So we thought, the reason that Ray and Fernie developed No Excuses was because they realized that success, major success, comes from events, from actually being in person and actually rubbing elbows with other successful people. And there's a couple reasons for that. Psychologically, it does something because you realize, oh my God, these people aren't just rock stars. They're not totally out of reach. They're real. They're ordinary people just like me that have done extraordinary things. So the believability shifts for people. The other thing is you can make connections and things like that you couldn't otherwise make online with people and get different resources for help. You also get to ask questions. It's more interactive. So the interesting thing about No Excuses is we've had huge success stories come from No Excuses. People that have broken through from starting from scratch or who've been struggling for years and literally within a month have gone to getting incredible results after going to No Excuses Summit. However, only about 10% really got the kind of results that we were hoping for. Would you agree with that number, Fernie? Right around 10%?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
And so it was frustrating for us. It's like, holy crap, what is holding people back? And so we figured out what it was. We tried coaching programs, by the way. The best we got was about 25%. It says 20% here. 25% who got results. Our first workshops broke all the records, broke the paradigms. We got 35% success rates, which, in our opinion, was still a 65% failure rate. That was our first couple of workshops that we ran. And so, Ray, Fernie, and I and Matt have constantly gone back to the drawing board and go, well, what might we do differently? What else might we do to really help people just make these issues, the crap that's in between their ears, give them the strategy piece, and actually help them implement that strategy and actually get results? And so the interesting thing happened. Of course, we figured out the 3 BHAPs, and I'll tell. Who wants to guess what BHAPs are? Anyone want to guess what a BHAP is? Go ahead and type it in the box there. No guesses, huh? I'll give you the first word. I'll give you the first 2 words. Big, hairy, audacious. Okay, there's 3. Big, hairy, audacious, bad habits. Okay, close. Big, hairy, audacious problems. That's what a BHAG stands for. There's something called BHAG. I think it was Vern Harsh in his book. What is it called? Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. I think it came from there, but I'm not positive. and he had something called Big Hairy Audacious Goals, and I believe he talked about Big Hairy Audacious Rewards. And so it's really important to have strong goals. I can't say enough how important goal setting is, and to really have the reason for those goals, like the rewards for having those goals. What does it look like when I actually accomplish those goals? And the obstacle that I came up with that I thought was kind of clever, but I'll stop patting myself on the back, was big, hairy, audacious problems. And so people see these challenges, and again, we talked about number one, the BS between people's ears, the mindset issues, the lack of a strategic approach to business. That's number two. Most people kind of flounder around thinking, oh God, the answer to my question or my problem right now is learning this traffic method, or the answer is getting this software system, or the answer is joining this opportunity. Well, I can tell you that the whole purpose of joining that is because you were driven by desire. You want to get out of the pain that you're in, or the problem or the situation you're in, and move forward to a better solution. And then the unfortunate thing is because it's not done strategically, it's done opportunistically, there's never any real results to speak of. And it's going to create this vicious cycle of going and thinking, well, I need this tactic, I need this tactic. And that's the reason. Confusion it breeds consumption. And the more confused people are, the more overwhelmed they are, the more unclear they are, the more stuck they are, the more they consume and buy. And you want to hear something kind of shady? And I believe this to be the case, and I'm going to share with you the difference between influence and manipulation briefly. I believe there are those that perpetuate confusion intentionally to create consumption. And I think that that's not a very ethical way to build a business. Now, if you're confused already and I bring to light your confusion, that's different, because I'm addressing the core issue, and I'm not saying go buy this tactic because nothing else is working for you. I'm addressing the reason for your confusion. Okay? So that's the reason for your confusion. It's complete lack of strategy. It's the crap between your ears. And also, number three is, yes, there's some skills required, but most people think that they need to learn every skill set to be able to get results, and it's not true. So I want to talk about the big, hairy, audacious problem number one. Fernie, did you want to break in there real quick? I thought I heard you talk.
Yeah, I mean, I when you said that there's people in this industry that intentionally overwhelm their followers in order to maximize consumption, I mean, that's dead on. It's so hard to find a safe place for people to learn, and that's what we've always strived for, to help people find that safe place where they don't have to worry about, being misled.
Absolutely, man. So I want to get to the meat really quick. This is the problems. I won't spend a lot of time here because we talked about these pretty much in depth. Tony Robbins says 80% of success is really related to mindset, and 20% is mechanics or technical knowledge. And I agree with this to an extent. I'd go further, though, and I'd say 90% of success is psychological. I really, truly believe that, again, based on all the people I've worked with, the mechanics and the skill sets. So 90% of it is mindset, 10% of it's skill set, in my opinion. And it's really true. And if you can figure out the inner game, then you're well ahead of everyone else, because guess what? You're going to be more influential. People are going to follow you. You're not going to be hopeful and wishful. You're going to be purposeful. There's a difference. And I'm sure you've met people that are kind of like trying to sell their deal, and they're saying the right words maybe, but you can sense. How many of you have sensed incongruence or a gap between people's words and their actual intention, number one, and number two, their conviction? How many of you sensed that it's like most people, like, think about the network marketers, a lot of the network marketers out there. They're, oh my God, I'm so excited about this. This is going to make us $1 million. They might say the right things. They might talk about how great the opportunity is, but their speech isn't congruent with their level of belief, and you sense that on an inner level. And so how is that solved? Well, it's about belief and conviction, the kind of conviction we just talked about. How do you get that? You got to focus on the mindset, the reason, your bigger reason for getting where you're going, and then really shifting your belief level, because that belief is huge. And until you overcome disbelief, there's no possibility of being congruent, and you have way less of a chance of being influential. When there's incongruence, there's lack of influence. It influences everything in marketing and in any kind of selling. Big, hairy, audacious problem number 2, lack of strategy. Huge, huge problem. Again, we talked about the rudderless ship. We talked about not charting a course. We talked about focusing on tactics versus strategy. A lot of people, how many of you are guilty of this? By the way, everyone, I think, is guilty. I was guilty of this. Raise your hands if you're one of the people that's a sucker for a good sales letter. Every time you see something really good, you got to buy it, or you really, really want it, and you think, oh my God, this is going to solve all of my problems. I am too. I'm raising my hand way high. And that's how I was too. And the interesting thing is you should never stop learning or investing in yourself. However, and here's the caveat, there's a difference between investing in education and bettering yourself and doing it strategically versus doing it opportunistically.
Mm-hmm.
An absolute night and day difference.
Yeah.
Running around trying to get from where you are to where you're going by plugging leaks and holes and not focusing on the real cause, and that is not having a clear path forward, not knowing exactly how you're going to get from where you are to where you want to go, that is going to cause a wasted money, wasted time, frustration, overwhelm, and being stuck. And it's going to create this perpetual cycle until you have that clarity, that strategy in place of, look, this is where I'm going. This is how I'm going to get there. Until you have that, there's no chance for success. None. So strategy is everything.
Yeah, I mean, Tim, something simple. I mean, if you want to be a top earner, you gotta not only market like a top earner and top producer, you also have to buy training, information, and systems like a top earner. I don't see now. The only time I buy something is when I need it. Like, I find there's a need in my business. Like, I need to get better at this, or I need to improve this aspect of my business. Where is there a training or resource that I can invest in that'll help? That'll help me in this area of my business. So that is thinking very strategically and methodically. It's no longer chasing the next big launch, the next shiny object that's out there. It's so once you, I mean, when people are new, obviously they're going to gobble up a lot of stuff. But once you get to a point where you're now buying strategically, you'll find that you'll be taking more action, and your results will shoot up because you're no longer being distracted by course after course after course without any method to your madness, in other words.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And you're so right, because that's the big difference is, like, where do I need to improve in my business? Having that reflection process and evaluation process, and then going out and finding something or a resource or someone. Remember I said there was only one shortcut to success? And that the shortcut to success is getting help from someone who's already done what you want to do and accomplished what you want to accomplish. That's the only shortcut I know of for success. And the faster that you're able to take the knowledge and put it into action, and that's the shortcut for getting results. I mean, is there any other way to get results other than taking action? Absolutely not, right? So speaking of taking action, a lot of people have this notion that they have to learn all these skills before they can have results. And here's the thing. Here's the truth. The truth is you really only need a few skills to start with in order to start getting results. And that's it. In fact, if you partner with somebody, you might only need one skill. And that's it. Now, you look at this chart, and most people are like, well, I've got to learn pay-per-click marketing, I've got to learn search engine optimization, I've got to learn blogging, I've got to learn how to build capture pages, I've got to learn how to email broadcast, I've got to learn how to set up my autoresponder, I have to learn how to set up shopping carts, I have to do website design, blog setup, hosting, split testing, programming, domain registration, I have to do coaching, consulting, upsells, blog monetization, I've got sales funnel monetization, I got copywriting to do, script writing, blog entries, recording audios, PowerPoint presentations. Oh my God! And then there's the administration stuff. I've got to do accounting. I've got to do payroll. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. I've got to hire people, legal compliance, FTC regulations, customer support, fulfillment. Holy crap, it's no wonder people come into this business thinking this is the answer. And then they learn about all this shit, and they're like, holy crap, there's a lot I have to learn. Well, Fernie, do you have to learn all this stuff to be able to get results? I mean, or is there an evolutionary process?
I mean, it hurts me just reading this. No, I mean, the truth is there's only about maybe at most 5 or 10% of the stuff that's on here that new people need to get started and to start making money. They don't need all this stuff. And one of the reasons why I got stuck for 2 years in my business is because I was trying to learn everything. I was trying to consume as much as possible, when the reality was I knew everything I needed to start making money, and not only money, a lot of money, within my first couple months on the internet. And somehow I convinced myself that I needed to learn all this stuff, and that actually just delayed my success. You don't need to learn all this crap right away.
Absolutely, brother. Hear, hear. So we thought, looking at identifying these problems, these are the sticking points. This is what's keeping people stuck, not getting the results they want. So we had this crazy idea. We thought, you know what, let's just solve these problems. After months of talking and debating this stuff and looking at the causes, it was just like crazy, right? Let's just solve them. So how do we do that? Well, the way we did that was we took the crap, the mindset crap, put it on standby, gave people alcohol, as you could see in this picture here. No, I'm kidding. But we took a lot of the sticking points and the problems, and we said, you know what, let's just get everyone into action. Let's just get everyone into action and getting results, and do it with them. And so we did. And our results speak for themselves. Doing our first few workshops, our results, every time we do a workshop, our success rate would increase because we made adjustments and tweaks here and there. And so I could go on and on about people's testimonials of what they were able to do by implementing and applying these strategies. David here, 175 leads before stepping on the plane to go home from the workshop. He got 685 leads by the end of the week. To this day, he's still generating leads, still making money. We've got a six-figure earner here, Ken. We've got Caesar, who really came from an offline, really sales, oriented standpoint. And I remember this. It was a couple of years ago, and he called me on the phone, and he said, "Hey Tim, I've got a sales page. It's my first sales page. Don't be too rough and don't be too brutal on me." And this was before he went to the workshop, and so I basically thrashed his entire sales page. He was almost, I'm guessing, about to like crawl into the fetal position, suck his thumb, and cry, because that's how badly I thrashed his sales page. And I was like, dude, you need to come to one of our workshops, man. Come on, seriously, come to the workshop.
Well, I talked to him after you did that. He was in the fetal position. He was?
And we're actually taking a vacation in a few days. We're going to be joining Caesar and Tanya and Ray Higdon and Jessica. How many of you know Caesar and Tanya and Ray and Jessica? How many of you know those guys? Raise your hands. So we're all vacationing together in Ireland. We're going for like 10 days, 9 or 10 days or something like that, all over Ireland to, drink beers together and, I don't know, look at castles. Who knows what? I don't even know what we're doing. I was just like, Caesar got me on the phone, and he's like, "Hey, dude, do you like drinking beer?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Awesome. Have you ever wanted to go to Ireland?" I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Great. Hey, would you like to come with us, Ray and Jessica, to Ireland?" I'm like, "Yes." So he got me to say yes like 3 times. He's like, "Awesome. I need you to get on your computer. I need you to go to da-da-da and enroll in my deal." And I'm like, "What?" Talk about a closer. But the funny thing was you had to join in order to go on this trip. And so I was like, shoot, I'm going, man. But it just goes to show about skills, having skill sets that really make the difference. And Caesar has a skill set. Well, what we did at the workshop was we translated what he knew into taking it to the online world. And that very workshop, still to this day, Fernie continues to make him a few $100 a day automatically. Isn't that right?
Yeah, he makes $300 a day from this one funnel that he set up, and that's about 10 grand extra a month every month.
How many of you, raise your hands if you'd like to sit down for a couple days and make like 10 grand a month from one campaign you set up? How many of you think that would be awesome? Okay, that's great because that's what Caesar did, and a lot of other people have done similar things here from as a result of this workshop. Oops, I'm just, oh, dang it, going the wrong way now. I'm just going to jam through here and go past these testimonies. A lot of these people never got any results before. They're getting leads for the first time ever, and that's fantastic. But I really want to get into the meat of this, and I want to talk about what we found out from these workshops and how you can apply it specifically to your business right now. Really quick, the proof's in the pudding, as they say. Of those who attended the workshops, the later workshops, 65% report making sales for the first time. 38% made more than their investment in the first 6 months. Remember, they invested $5,000 to be there. 12% have gone on to replace their jobs and are at or close to 6 figures. That certainly burst all the paradigms of success as a result of any kind of training ever that I've seen anywhere in my life. And there's a reason for that. Now, at our most recent workshop, in every workshop from here on out that we do, if we do any more, which I'm not sure, we are aiming for 100% success rate. And with a small group of people in a room, we can easily now pretty much assure people will get 100% success if they do what they're supposed to do. Now, that's the caveat. And everyone so far at our most recent workshop has. And so here's the thing. The disclaimer part is, look, it takes taking action. It takes taking strategic action. It takes overcoming the bullshit between your ears and really just committing and moving forward. And everyone at the last workshop did that, so we had no problems whatsoever getting people 100% success. And that's all you need to really get results. And so the big question, the million-dollar question, is how did we do that? How were we able to do what no one else anywhere that I know of was able to do? Yes, sure, I've heard of people doing workshops and saying, yeah, everyone got results, and all they did was like mail solo ads or something like that, or do some, shady shit. I'm talking, this is how you actually become empowered. That's what we did, is we actually, with them, set up their pages. And you know what? Guess what happened? This is so cool. Just like I talked about before, future events appearing real, fear. Everyone, by Sunday evening, or by Sunday afternoon, was getting results, and they're like, wow, that was so much easier than I thought. And the reason is because we take the approach of empowering, not of dependence. And so that's what we're talking about, is actually getting these results with you doing it and being able to replicate it and do it over and over and over and over again and get those kinds of results that our attendees are still to this day. So we said this. Really, what matters is results. Everything else is bullshit. I want to talk about these 3 things: the specialized knowledge, taking strategic action, evaluating and improving. And really, if you want to know how to master something, do it 100 times. And just like we talked about with getting your first $1,000, the first time you do this stuff, the first time you set up your capture page, the first time you set up an ad campaign and all that stuff, the first time's always the most difficult. And that's the reason we did this workshop. That's the reason for moving towards the direction we're doing right now. We're going to give you that chance to be able to get the 100% success formula in person with us. How many of you would like to have a guarantee that if you do everything that you're supposed to do, which isn't that much, anyone can follow these directions, how many of you would like to be able to come to spend time with us, 6 and 7 and 8 figure earners who guarantee you'll get success? How many of you would this make a huge difference for in your businesses? How many of you could see yourselves being able to walk out of there, generate leads indefinitely for the rest of your life based on what you learn at this event? How many of you believe that's possible for you? Because it's one thing to believe it's possible for others, it's another thing to believe it's possible for you. And I'm here to tell you that all you have to do is come to the table with that kind of commitment. And when you do that, there's nothing that can stop you. And really what we're going to do is we're going to give you the specialized knowledge. We're going to together take strategic action, and we're going to teach you how to evaluate and improve. So the first 2 things are already done with you. So the 3 required money skills for success are these. You want to write these down. These are it. Remember we talked about that guy was confused and overwhelmed and had all those things that he had to do? Really, all you have to do is learn 1 to start: traffic source, traffic method. You have to have a way to convert traffic into leads and build your own list. And then you have to create leverage in your business so your business isn't dependent on you. And that's primarily by using systems. Let's talk about each of these. As we said, you only need really one or two good sources of traffic to start. We're going to tell you about two of ours in a moment. The top ones we recommend, how we got the 100% results that we did. Fernie and Ray are masters at getting people to plug into these traffic skill sets really, really fast without having to understand everything, but still being able to see the results right before your eyes. So we're going to tell you what those are here in a moment. However, you know, believe it or not, traffic is actually the easiest skill. A lot of people, let me ask you this. What if I told you that literally we could have you up and running with traffic within an hour or less? Would you believe me? Now, that's not the hard part. The hard part is being able to generate traffic profitably. And how is that done? How is that done? Does anyone have any guesses? How is it done? How do you generate traffic profitably? Answer the question in the box if you would. Pay-per-click, targeting your audience, all important. Facebook, all important. Okay, so I want to think from a process standpoint. Oh, boom. Okay, Michelle, you're right there. Michelle is closer than anyone else. Having the right copy, banners. Okay, that's tactics, communication. Okay, that's somewhat in the right ball field or right area. I'll share this with you. It's all about conversions. That is what it's all about. And you know what? Attracting the right audience, absolutely. That plays a factor in conversions. Having copy, effective copy, that plays a factor in conversions. So what is conversion? Well, it boils down to being able to influence people to take action. Now, let me just put this in a context that you might be able to understand. How many of you are here as a result of clicking on an email, opening an email? Raise your hands. Okay. First thing that happened was you got an email in your inbox, you saw a subject line, you opened that email, right? And then what happened? It was interesting enough for you to actually read that email, right? And how many of you clicked on a link and ended up on a page that said, hey, we're going to teach you skills, you need to register and be here, right? And then when you saw a page, you registered to be there, and you actually showed up. So each point that I just referred to are all conversion points, and they all come down to one skill, and that is conversion, and that's the ability to influence. How many of you can see now clearly that influence is the most important skill? Because without influence, without conversion, traffic means shit. Raise your hands, and I'm sorry again to use the harsh language. Do you understand how important influence is in marketing? Do you understand that this is what your whole entire business hinges on, is your ability to be able to convert? Because guess what? It all starts with one important conversion, and that is turning targeted visitors, the traffic you drive, into subscribers. That's how you get to high five and six-figure business. Everything else, building sales systems, all that stuff, is secondary to that one skill set. Everyone, including, I saw a couple of people say, yes, I know the Higdons earlier. Someone personally sponsored by them in their opportunity. And the whole thing they started out with was blogging and building the list, and that's it. And then they offered basically value. They offered solutions to problems for people, and that's all they did to get up to six figures. And the way they got to multiple seven figures, I'll share that with you in a moment as well. So number 3, it's about systems and processes. Again, when I asked the question, what do you think the skill set required is that makes the traffic profitable? It's conversion. A lot of you still were going tactically minded. You were thinking it's ads, it's this, it's that. Again, I want to remind you that when you have the context of strategy and you use systems and processes, like here's an example. Ray and Fernie have traffic systems that they put in place. They're able to basically take that system, give it to somebody else, and get predictable, reliable results. Does that make more sense than here's how to set up, I'm going to show you how what the flavor of the month traffic tactic is, and what happens when the things change, when the rules change. You're not able to adapt and apply because you're not thinking from a systems and process level. You're not thinking from a strategic level. You're thinking from a, well, that don't work no more. So the difference is really understanding systems and processes, and that's what we hand you. That's what we're offering you. That's what we're giving you, is the systems, the processes, and the ability to apply them, and no matter how the landscape changes, to be able to adapt and apply them in that landscape differently. So what's the difference between the self-employed and the business owner? The self-employed is working in the business. The business owner is working on the business. The self-employed is a slave to their job. So basically, being self-employed is just like having a job, except you're the boss, and you might be a better boss than the one you had at a job, but you got a ball and chain tied to your ankle, because you're still, if you don't run your business, you're not going to make money. And there's no leverage in your business. There's no scale. There's no ability to grow without you doing all the work. The business owner creates systems and puts processes in place that get results, whether or not we vacation in Ireland, whether or not we're there to babysit. I guarantee you that when I'm gone in Ireland for the 9 or 10 days with Fernie, vacationing with awesome people. By the way, how many of you want to take vacations with us? How many of you would love to do some of the things we do? We do stuff like this every single year, sometimes multiple times a year. Raise your hands if you want to go on vacations with us and do fun stuff with us. Great. The people that are doing this with us now at some of these events were on webinars just like this one you're at right now. They were at events just like the one you're going to get invited to. And they started out there. And guess what allows them to be able to come play with us, to come snowboarding with us, to come traveling with us, to come on cruises with us? Having leverage and scale in their business. And how do you do that? You do that with systems and processes. One example, and the most powerful example, is having a sales funnel. The same kind of sales funnel that Caesar set up in 2.5 days, that to this day get them $300 a day or 10 grand a month. That's what it looks like. And let's talk specifically what this looks like. Okay? This is really complex. You have traffic, maybe from one source, one or two to start with. I start with one, and I have a preference. I haven't done traffic myself personally in a long time, but if I was to start from scratch, it would be one of the ones that Fernie's going to show you, and I'll tell you exactly which one that is in a minute. Creating a capture page, which you can do in 5 minutes. I'll share with you some resources for doing so. Having an offer that works, doesn't have to be your own, and then out comes the money. And then putting a follow-up system in place. This is the big factor that gets you from making a few $100 to $1,000 or so per month to creating a relationship and a bond with your list and having effective follow-up in place and actually getting supercharged results, and that's your follow-up. Okay, so this is what a 6-figure business looks like. How complicated is this? Can you guys do this with our help, do you think? Raise your hands or comment in the box if you think you could set this up with our help. Okay, how many of you, okay, absolutely, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, or that's what I'm looking for, great. Okay, absolutely cool. Okay, yes, with your help. Okay, this is not hard, this is not rocket science. All you need to be able to do, these first 2 boxes to get to a few $1,000s per month. If you can do these first 2 boxes, then remember the first, 1,000 or so, oh no, how did that happen? Oh, there we go. The first, to get to a couple $1,000s per month, all you have to do is be able to have one good traffic source, targeting your ideal prospects, and getting them to one capture page that converts them into leads and adds them to your list. That's it. How many of you think you could get these 2 components in place with our help? It works with any business, Jamelia. I don't care. I do this in my real estate company. I have a real estate company. All we're doing is we find people with problems. We create or find a solution. We make an offer to solve their problem. And then we present an offer that basically says, here's what you need to do to get your problem solved. That's it. That's the process. It works for every business. Every business. Okay, this is universal. Again, we're talking about systems and processes that are universal, unlike tactics, which are not. So here's what you need to understand more so than anything else. The more of the sales funnel components that we just talked about right here, The more of those you control, the more money you make. To get to a few $1,000s, all you need to control is number 1, number 2, and then start on the email marketing or follow-up. That's it. To get to 6 figures and beyond, you need to create an offer. Fernie, did we just help somebody do this? Share that briefly in like 30 seconds or less.
Yeah, absolutely. The Andrew and Kate McShay, I mean, they showed up last year at No Excuses 4. We're at 0, had 0 results, had built nothing. And out of that event and through our workshops and then through our mastermind group, I mean, they went from just doing these first 2 components, traffic and a capture page, started building a list, presented an offer that wasn't theirs. They basically became an affiliate of another system and started making between 3 to 5 grand per month. And just over the past month, we helped them go from 3 to 5 grand per month to over $20,000 per month by helping them add their own offer, meaning another box, another component. Just by adding it to what they had currently, that pretty much quadrupled their income.
How many of you would like to start up making a few $1,000s per month and have the opportunity to just change one little tweak in your business funnel to be able to get up to 6 figures like overnight, literally? Okay? You got to start somewhere, right? So it all starts with having one at least good traffic source and 1 converting capture page. That's it. And that's what we're talking about here. So the more components you control, the more money you make. Now, that's the reason I say the biggest and best and most important money skill of all is to learn how to build out sales funnels yourself, learn how to create offers yourself, learn how to write copy yourself. And we've put together courses that have taught all this stuff. However, like we said earlier, about 5% of the people ever apply what's in these courses, and it's so freaking frustrating. So we wanted a better solution. However, these things are still important to have in place as reference guides. 3 of the courses here you're looking at are literally the way we've built our 8-figure businesses. Now, if I told you right now that everything that you need to be successful in your business is contained right here on this screen, would you believe me, number 1? And number 2, would you commit to applying it and getting results? Be honest. Okay, well, I'm going to share with you how you can get these components absolutely free in just a moment. That's every business system that we use to run every day our 7- and 8-figure companies. They're yours. It's basically your reference manual it's like having our own internal processes at your disposal to reference anytime you want, to do anything you want as far as doing the number 1 money skill, building these out. Every aspect of it right here. So I'm going to tell you how you can get those for free. By the way, these have sold for $1,000 and up in the past. The least I've sold this one right here in the middle, the Ultimate Sales Funnel, which walks you through everything, including how I do this webinar. By the way, how many of you are getting value from this webinar? How many of you are getting value from this webinar? Awesome. Okay. There is a process that I'm taking you through right now that is a proven process for putting on webinars that give high value and that also, and guess what, I'm not going to hide it, I'm going to make an offer. I'm going to make an offer in a moment that can change your life, but I want to give you way more content first because I want you to walk away from this knowing that you could do this, knowing that what to focus on. And I promised that at the beginning, so I'm going to continue on. However, after I give you the blueprint, I'm going to ask you something. I'm going to ask you, would you like our help doing that? And there's an actual process that I take you through. That's all revealed inside here. We talk about it. It's called the 7-figure webinar presentation formula. There's another one for doing video sales letters. All that stuff, everything from capture pages to creating emails. All that stuff is covered within that. And you have 2 choices for doing that. You can do it yourself or you can do it with us. Either way. And the thing is, we've already seen the results. 5% will actually do it with the information alone because things stand in their way, because they have sticking points, because they have fear, because they have questions. I'm going to take that. Say again?
I mean, things that are happening in their life circumstances.
Sure. So we're going to take all of that out of the equation. We're going to give you 2.5 days of our time to implement that. So again, the absolute fastest way to get to where you want to get, this is the process right here. This is it. This is something this is a writer downer. You're going to want to write this down. In your marketplace, find the big, hairy, audacious problem. Now, most people go and they go, well, I don't know. I'm selling juice, or I'm selling this widget, or I'm selling this course, or I'm selling. No, you're not. You're not selling that at all. What are you selling? What is your offer? Go ahead and answer that if you can. Now, here's an example of that. Don asked, if you're not computer savvy, will this work for you? Okay? That's a problem in his mind. He feels like he has been being held back by not being computer savvy. So does he want the yada yada that has these features and blah 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 and does this and that and does automatic? No, he wants the result. He wants the result, and the thing that he sees standing in his way is a big, hairy, audacious problem. He doesn't. We're not in the business of selling features. We're not in the business of selling things or tools. We're in the business of solving problems. Everything that we do, everything that we, exactly, Michelle, offering help. Not selling, exactly, Mike, not selling, providing a solution. Bingo. You guys hit it on the head. And as soon as we have that shift of, I'm not selling juice, I'm selling the solution to being overweight and tired. I'm selling the solution to being in a house that I don't like. In my real estate company, there's people that want to get out of their houses. They can't. They're upside down. Whatever. We solve that problem. We solve another problem. There's people that come to us and they can't apply for a traditional mortgage for one reason or another, but they still want to own a home. We solve that problem, right? We don't sell them a house. We sell them the solution to a problem so that they can get into their house. Does that make sense? Trips to Ireland, exactly. We don't sell, we're not selling internet business. We're selling freedom, right? We're selling lifestyle. We're selling the dream. That's what we're offering. That's the solution people want. So that's number one, is find the big, hairy, audacious problem. Number two, find or create the solution. Do you have to have the solution yourself? No. Remember Kate and Andrew that Fernie just talked about? All they did was find somebody else's solution, and they did the other two things, which were drive traffic and build a list. So all you have to do is find or create a solution. Almost everyone that I know of that's successful goes and finds a solution somewhere else, whether it's licensing, whether it's becoming an affiliate, whether it's an opportunity, whether it's whatever. But there's only a few things that you can do. You can sell your own stuff. You could sell other people's stuff. Or you can, basically sell services of some sort and software. So, but they're all solutions, right? However, you don't have to have the solution. You have to be perceived as the solution. Okay, it doesn't matter what the product is. It matters that your people like you, know you, and trust you enough to be able to say, yes, I'm interested. Just like you all showed up on this webinar. You raised your hand several times. The first time you raised your hand and said yes is when you opened the email, right? The second time is when you clicked on the link, right? That's 2 conversions. The third time is when you registered for this webinar. The fourth time is when you showed up at this webinar. So you've said yes 4 times already. And the reason is because I addressed the big, hairy, audacious problem, Fernie and I did. We are offering a solution right now, and we are going to give you an irresistible offer. And there are going to be approximately 30% of you on this webinar that are going to take us up on this offer that we're going to present to you. How do I know this? Because I have this down to a science, and I want to teach you that science. Okay? Number 4, this is really hard. Set up your capture page. Can you, with our help, with our templates, do you think if I gave you my best converting templates, fill in the blanks, literally, and gave you a system to be able to do that, or options for systems, there's several out there that allow you to build capture pages easily. If I did that for you, if I gave you all that, do you think you could make this work for you? Do you think you could build a capture page? Even if you didn't have our help, if I gave you all of our best converting capture pages, if I gave you templates, fill in the blank templates, yeah, right? Absolutely. Because you're basically filling in the blanks. If I gave you a system or access to a system or an option for a system, and I'm going to give you 3 in a moment, that set up capture pages for you really, really quickly and really, really easily, whether or not you're technically challenged, You can do this, I guarantee you. My mom can do it. My mom's the most unsavvy person in the world. I have a 14-year-old son who's more savvy than she is when it comes to being on the computer and technology. My mom can do this. That's how easy it is. So with those two things, do you think you could set up a capture page? Raise your hand, say yes in the box. Then I'll move on. Okay, awesome. Great. Just making sure you're still with me. Are you guys getting this? Is this making sense to you? Perfect. Okay. So the last one, and it's last, is drive traffic, because you can't drive traffic if you don't have a capture page. You can't have a capture page if you don't have an irresistible offer, right? You can't have an irresistible offer if there's not a solution and a problem, or a problem and a solution for that problem, right? So most people think they start with number 5. They go, well, I need traffic, and then they send it to an offer that's not irresistible, or they send it to a blog, or they send it some BS place, a replicated website, or whatever the case may be. You can't. It's not going to work for you. This is the process right here. So are you ready to start implementing this? Are you ready to find out how to do this now? Before I move on, I want you to say yes or raise your hands. Okay, fantastic. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so let's go through each of these steps. Finding the big, hairy, audacious problem. We talked about people buy solutions, not products. Now, here's an interesting thing. And I'm sure you'd agree with this. There's 2 things that motivate human beings to take action. Do you know what they are? Can anyone name what the 2 things are? The 2 core motivators of action. Free stuff. Good one. Exactly, Michelle, you got it. There's 2 Michelles on here. Ken, you got it. Lee, you got it. Gene, you got it. That's close. Desire to gain. Yep, exactly. So basically, they are pain and pleasure, right? Or fear or desire, right? Different ways of saying it. So pain and pleasure are actual experiential feelings, whereas fear and desire are future tense desires or fears, right? So pain and pleasure is actual present tense, and they're equal. They're almost equally as motivating, because when you have fear, that creates pain, right, in the present tense. So here, check this out. Of those 2 core motivators, the most powerful are fear and pain. And the more fear and pain people have, the more motivation that they have to take action. So we talked about manipulation earlier, and we talked about influence. Can I ask you a question? Have you ever stayed up and watched infomercials? Have you ever watched commercials that really hit home for you, that made you go, you know what, I need that? The better they do at creating the delta or the gap between where you are currently and getting you to recognize that to getting to where you want to be, the more they expose the pain, the fear, the problem, the more powerful of an influencer they are. Now, some people use this power for good, others use it for evil. Influence itself is absolutely 100%. It's not either evil or good. It's totally, what's the word I'm looking for? Fernie, help me out. It's in the middle of evil and good. Neutral. Thank you, Lee. Okay. It's 100% neutral. It's how it's used intentionally, and to what end it's used that determines if it's good or evil. And so back to finding the big, hairy, audacious problem. There's nothing wrong with selling if you really, truly believe in what you have to offer. It's your job to create conversions. It's your job to make sales because you're giving a real solution that you believe in. And the number one reason people don't have results when they get all the pieces in place and they're on a webinar like this one, or they're telling someone about their solution, is they don't believe in it. And so they don't have that conviction about it. And if you're not 100% convinced that you have a solution that people need, then you're not in business, and you need to find a solution that people believe in. So going back to the more pain and the more motivation, it's your job as a marketer, as a salesperson, as a provider of solutions to help people recognize the difference between where they are and where they want to be. And how do you do that? 2 things. It's pleasure and pain, desire and fear, right? And so A lot of people say, you know what? I don't know how to find the big, hairy, audacious problem. Well, here's the thing. Everyone who's invented, almost everyone, I would say most people who've invented breakthrough solutions in the world, most people who have created solutions themselves or found solutions were themselves experiencing the problems. Would you agree with that, guys? Would you agree that is what live, Charlie? I'm not understanding your question. I'm sorry. Okay. Yep. Ken. Yes. Yes. Okay. So you all agree with that. So start with you. What is your big problem right now? You know, are you overweight and frustrated with being overweight? You know, are you, instead of starting with, well, here's a product that I should sell, start by finding the big, hairy, audacious problem first, and then how does your product or opportunity or service fill that big, hairy, audacious problem? How does it become the solution? Or if it's not a solution to a big problem you have, you probably don't have that believability level behind what you're selling. And so it's really, really important. Almost every leader, this is number 2, find or create the solution. Almost every leader starts with OPS. Anyone know what that stands for? Take a wild guess of what that stands for. OPS. Really, really difficult to guess. Other people's solutions. Ken was the first one to get it. Awesome job. Other people's solutions. So almost everyone. You name it. Ray Higdon, Jessica, Michelle Pesca, Solito, Fernie and Ray, myself, Mark Hoverson. Who's someone you know of in our industry specifically, especially that we all know, that has started out? Well, they've all started out selling, Mike Dillard, exactly, selling other people's solutions. Every single one. Both David Wood, exactly. He started out selling our course. That's how he started out. He wouldn't talk to people on the phone until they bought our course. So everyone starts by other people's solutions. Then they graduate. Remember we talked about the more components in the sales funnel you own, the more your income increases? They all started with the first 2, traffic and conversions and building a list. That's it. And so I hope this is starting to make sense to you, that this whole process is way more important than the tactics that most people focus on. So whatever the solution is, whether it's your own or somebody else's, this is your core offer starting out. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Moving on. My good friend, I haven't talked to him in years, but he was a friend. I've done webinars with him. Really, really smart guy. Wrote a book called The Irresistible Offer. His name's Mark Joyner. And check this out, The Irresistible Offer, how to sell your product or service in 3 seconds or less. Now, first of all, is that title an irresistible offer? Absolutely, right? Is it and here's the way that I test an irresistible offer. Simple, desirable, unique, believable, speedy, and scarce. Okay? You have to have at least 3 of these components to have an irresistible offer. You want to write this down, because this slide's going to disappear in a second, and this is really important. So whenever you're looking at an email that you do, whenever you're looking at a capture page you do, whenever you're looking at a sales page that you're promoting, anything else that anyone else has, if you want the litmus test to see how irresistible the offer is, look at it from your prospect, the person with the problem standpoint, and say, is it simple to understand? Is it desirable? Is it unique in the marketplace? Is it believable? That's huge. Can I get results faster? Is it speedy? And is it scarce? Is there scarcity in it? Okay? Those 5 or 6 things right there are the irresistible offer. I don't know what Mark Joyner says in his book. It's been years since I read it, but I do remember that I got a lot of value from that, so pick that up. That's definitely a recommended resource for you. And can it be summarized in a few sentences or less? And just to give you an example of that, a capture page. Our capture pages, our best converting capture pages, literally are 1 sentence and 1 or 2 sentences. The one is the headline. The other is the, hey, enter your name and email to get the result. That's it. Look at this book cover. Can it be summarized? Is this summarizing an irresistible offer in a few sentences or less? Absolutely, right? Bingo. Absolutely. So that's what an irresistible offer is all about. Now, let's talk about some resources for setting up your capture page. And again, we're going in order. You got a problem, you got a solution, you got an irresistible offer. Now we set up your capture page. This is the doorway to your sales funnel. I call this the most, because it is the most important conversion point in here to everything you're doing. Everything else you could screw up on. But when you get traffic to your capture page, you could screw up on the offer. Maybe you don't have an irresistible offer. Maybe you're selling something that people don't want to buy. Whatever. If you're converting them on the capture page and you're speaking to their problem that they have, and you get them on your list, you can always fix everything else later. And you're building your number one asset, your list, right? So most people make this way, way more difficult. I'm going to give you some solutions right now that you can use to quickly, boom, create capture pages. The one you're looking at on the screen, the picture here, was created with our very own internal capture page builder. I'm going to tell you how to get that absolutely free in just a moment. However, there are many fantastic solutions. Write this down, leadpages.net. Great, great solution. Not very customizable, but the fastest and easiest. We use it sometimes for some of our campaigns. It's great. It's awesome. Number 2, Optimize Press. The page that you registered for this webinar was using Optimize Press, I believe.
Yep.
Number 3, and by the way, the 100% method that we use in our workshops was using this thing. It's the Elite Marketing Pro capture page system. Now, do you need all of these? No, you need one. The one I recommend is the easiest one for you. I would say either Lead Pages or Elite Marketing Pro. We use Elite Marketing Pro for a reason. It's because it's the absolute easiest that I know of, and it gives you more customization than Lead Pages. And so that alone right there is like a $300 per year value, because if you were to go get this like at Lead Pages or Optimize Press, you'd spend about $300 to get it. I'm going to give it to you absolutely free. I'm going to tell you how to get that absolutely free here in just a moment. But let's talk about driving traffic. This is really important. Oops. When you've done all the other stuff, this is really, really easy. We have 2 sources. Fernie's going to take a minute to talk about those sources and how easy they are to really start getting your results. So Fernie, I'm going to turn it over to you, let you get into this stuff. Then I'm going to pause after you go into this, and I'm going to basically share with you an opportunity. But I still have a lot more stuff I want to share with you. So let me go ahead and just turn it over to you, Fern. You can talk about your 2 favorite traffic sources and what they mean for you. I'm going to go grab some more water real quick.
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah, so with our people that come to our workshops, there's 2 primary traffic sources we focus on. And not just focus on those traffic sources, but a particular way on how we have them implement those traffic sources. So first we have them implement Facebook ads, Facebook traffic. And we have them do pay-per-click ads, but it's not going to be the ads that are on the right side that you see here. It's actually going to, we recommend newbies, new people, start with newsfeed ads. In particular, the type of newsfeed ads are called hidden posts. And all that means is basically you're doing a post on you're setting up the ad through your fan page, but your fan page doesn't need to have a following. It doesn't need to. No one needs to be on there whatsoever. And so you're creating a post as if you're sharing something with your friend or sharing something on a fan page. But even if you don't have a following at all, when you use something called hidden post, that allows you to basically make a post that you're paying for through pay-per-click and have it appear in the same area that a post from your friend would appear on. So it's as if you're basically using newsfeed ads or hidden post. You're intermixing what you want people to see with what they normally are looking at, which is their friend's post. So this is possible, and it's done through something called the Power Editor, which is it's a plugin that works with Chrome, only works with Google Chrome. It allows you to do two things. One, with Power Editor, you can post a bunch of ads at the same time. So once you get really good at doing newsfeed posts, then you can scale. You can do a lot of ads at the same time and manage all those ads. And also, Power Editor has a lot more features. One of those features being the hidden post or dark post. You can't do a hidden post through the normal Facebook ad section. You have to do it through the Power Editor. So Power Editor is what we use to manage all our Facebook ads. And again, it's completely free. You can get it through a plugin for Google Chrome. Just do a search on Google for Power Editor. And we recommend that the first thing people implement with Facebook traffic are dark or hidden posts or news feeds. And later on, more advanced strategies will include actually doing pay-per-click with the ads on the right. But for starters, the best results we've gotten for new people, for them to get traction, has been through newsfeed ads.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. How long will it take you to walk everyone through this process of setting up their first ad? And even if you're confused right now and you're like, I don't get it, I want you, Fernie, to tell everyone here what we do in person and how long it takes to actually get them with their first ad up and getting results.
I mean, it can be done within a matter of like 15 minutes. I mean, usually it'll take us about a half hour just because we're working in a group and want to make sure everyone's together. But I mean, it can literally take as little as 15 minutes to get set up and going.
See, that's the thing is, like, you see all this stuff, and this is the case with everything, right? You go, oh my gosh, Facebook, there's so much to learn. Well, all you have to learn first is to set up your first ad, right? And once you have that experience, then you can go, okay, I've set up my first ad. This isn't so hard. Now, how do I really move on to that next level? How do I scale my ads? How do I get better results with my ads? But it really starts with the ad.
Yeah, it can be very. I mean, someone new that opens up their ad manager in Facebook, it can be overwhelming because there's so many options. And so, what we're doing is saying, forget, ignore everything else. Just follow these steps. Set up your first ad, and you'll get results almost immediately. And they realize, wow, that was easy. By ignoring most of the features in Facebook, people get results.
Exactly. Okay, real quick, I want to address two questions before we move on. Angela says, but some of us don't have a big story to share. What kind of headline could we write to be intriguing? That's a non-issue. We could literally sit down. We can't go into the nitty-gritty now, but we could sit down and figure out your headline together using our templates. That's what they're for. You don't need your own story. You could leverage other people's stories. You could leverage, basically go straight for the solution versus talking about stories. That's a non-issue. So I want you to really just set that aside. And I get it. I get your concern because we use our story a lot in our marketing. However, in some markets, in every market, I've started without my own story. Everyone does, right? So there's ways to basically take other people's stories or just go straight for the solution. Do you want to solve this problem? Question mark. Absolutely, I do. And then you go, here's a solution that I found. Try it out. I mean, how hard is that, right? That's literally how easy we can make this. Sabrina asked another question. Sabrina asked a question. What if you don't have a Facebook page? Totally does not matter. You can set up a Facebook page in 2 minutes and start doing ads. You don't even need a Facebook page. However, one of the advanced strategies we teach later is how to set up. It is really advanced. It takes 3 minutes to set up a Facebook page, and then actually creating a Facebook campaign around that Facebook page. That's one of the things that Nick, our own pay-per-click ninja, teaches as well. However, you don't need one right now to start doing ads. I could set one up literally right here on the webinar if I wanted to. So let's go on to the next one, Fernie, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Should we pause here really quick, or do you want to go finish this
one? Let me finish this one. Okay. It won't take long. So the Facebook, number one, that's what we start people with. That's what can get results very quickly. The second choice with regards to getting results quickly, and it's a very close second, is PPV or PPV marketing. So PPV is permission-based advertising. It has nothing to do with HBO fights or anything like that stuff. It's not that type of pay-per-view. What it is essentially, you're tapping into PPV networks, and these networks bribe regular everyday people with free stuff. They give them games on their computer, toolbars, screensavers, special software that they can use in exchange for having them market to them. One of the sites they do this through is GameVance.com, where people can download games to play on their computer. Note, do not download any games from GameVance, otherwise you will give us permission to market to you, and as well as other marketers. But basically, through these networks, there's literally multiple millions of people to market to. Tons of people, meaning there's lots and lots of very inexpensive traffic. Now, it's inexpensive if you're trained by us. If you try to do it on your own without any training, then it can be very expensive. So you got the rule of thumb for anything is you need to get trained. You need to get trained by people that know what they're doing. Don't do anything blindly. I made that mistake. Seek out experts. And so PPV is one of the recommended traffic strategies. And this is pretty much how it works. It's very, very simple. You're pretty much able to target any website on the planet. You're able to put your ads on any website on the planet. So if if somebody goes to Amway.com, if they go to Amway.com, they're probably in network marketing. They're probably in Amway, and if they're in Amway, they're probably struggling. So I'm going to assume most people who are in Amway or Herbalife or whatever are struggling with their business. So my ad literally looks like this. It's actually a small, simple capture page. And it says, attention Amway distributors, how to personally sponsor 107 reps into your business in 60 days or less with one simple website. Now notice the question earlier about the story. I don't have a story. It doesn't matter. You don't need a story. This headline doesn't talk about any story. It just simply goes for providing a solution to someone's problem. In this case, an Amway distributor. So that is my PPV ad, a simple, small capture page, and I can target any website. So imagine your product, if you have a weight loss product. Think of websites you would target. It'd be Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Sensa, or whatever. If you have a fitness program that you're promoting, what would you target? Well, CrossFit, any CrossFit website on the planet, P90X, etc. So you literally have millions, if not billions, of options in terms of placing your ads. And the people that own these websites can't do anything about it. It's done in a very stealthy way. It's pretty awesome. So there's lots of traffic available for PPV. Move on to the next one. Great. So here's what you need to get started with PPV. Again, you need training, but I'm going to give you a few things to keep in mind. First, we recommend MediaTraffic.com, which is a PPV network, and this is intended for beginners and people with low budgets. We also recommend Lead Impact for beginners and someone that wants to start with a bigger budget. Lead Impact has a minimum start budget of $1,000. So does that mean you're just blowing $1,000? No, you're going to be spending that money over time, but they want to know you're committed to their network. So you basically allocate $1,000 towards advertising, whereas Media Traffic, it's a lot less, maybe a couple $100 to get started with Media Traffic. Either way, those are the two beginner networks we recommend. All you need is a simple capture page, which I just showed you what it looks like. So if you're able to write 2 sentences, you're able to put together a capture page. And an offer that converts. So you have to plug into something like Elite Marketing Pro or another offer that you know other people will have proven to convert and make sales with. And that capture page essentially becomes your pop-up ad. So you don't need to create an ad. You don't need to write ad copy. And all you need to come up with are basically URLs to advertise on, which you literally have billions of options. So those are our top 2 traffic strategies, Facebook and PPV, in that order because, again, Facebook, it's very friendly for beginners. If you do use it like we recommend, you'll get traction immediately. And PPV is not only can you get results quickly, but you could also scale very high, meaning get lots and lots of traffic once you get good at it. So that's as far as the top 2 traffic strategies. Ignore everything else, in my opinion. These are our top 2 choices.
Okay, so guys and gals, how many of you understand a little bit more? You're a little bit more clear about your strategy now. You don't need to know the specifics. The important takeaway for this webinar is, remember we talked about strategic learning, going, oh, okay, now I understand how to take a strategic approach to learning because I know what's going to get me to where I want to go. We talked about the 5 steps. Find the big, hairy, audacious problem. Create or find the solution. Present an irresistible offer. Build a capture page. And literally drive traffic. How many of you now know you have a better picture than when you started out about how to get to where you're going? The strategic standpoint, not the tactics. Maybe you don't know how to set up a Facebook ad yet. That's nothing. That doesn't mean anything. You could literally learn that in about 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. How to set up a capture page. Your first time, maybe 15 minutes. But once you're able to do that, you could probably do it in 5 minutes. When you have the copy done, you can do it in 5 minutes easy, using some of the systems that we talked about. So are you guys getting this, that the strategy piece is way, way more important? And now it's about getting more clear on, okay, let me see. Now that I know how to drive traffic, now that I know how that I need to build, or now that I know what traffic sources to focus on, now that I know I need a capture page to build my list, now it's about strategically learning and gaining knowledge related to those 5 things. Are you guys clear on that now? Does that make sense to you? And this is important. This is crucial. And let me just share with you how crucial this is. In the beginning, I asked you, what are your goals? And you have to be able to have really clear goals Okay, you have to have a strong desire, right? And then you have to have the map for how to get there. We just gave you the map for how to get there. I'll tell you what this means to me. On the last webinar, I did one of these webinars last week. I said on that webinar, you know what? I was doing these slides. I put up a picture of my of a bike I found like literally last week or the week before last, and I was like, man, this is cool. I ride motorcycles. I'm a sports bike guy, or was, and I saw this Harley that I fell in love with. And I'm not a Harley person, but this thing was liquid cooled engine. It was with Porsche. It's called a V-Rod. It's more of a sporty Harley, if that makes sense. It's not a blah, 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 pop pop Harley where screws fall out. Anyway, it's more suited for me. So I said on the webinar, I said, you know what, I think I'm just going to buy that. So on Saturday, or was it Sunday? It was Saturday. On Saturday, I went down there on my sports bike. I walked in there and I said, you know what, I want this Harley. So I bought the Harley. And that is the kind of freedom that we're talking about here. And it all happens because I was able to do this. And Mike agrees V-Rods are badass. Right on. So it's all about having the strategic pieces in place and then taking action based on that strategy, learning based on that the strategy that you have in place. That's what we're offering here. Now, I have a question for you. How many of you, before I do that, let's just recap what you need to do. Oops. Find an offer that's converting, okay? Focus on learning and mastering traffic, not 10 skills, 1. Create a simple sales funnel, which is the gateway to your sales funnel. That's your capture page, right? Get leads, make money, optimize and improve. And then after that, you can scale your business. You can add that extra component to get to 6 figures, just like Andrew and Kate did. And a 7-figure business, we'll talk about that another time. That's a higher level conversation, is about adding a few more components. And you can do this. You don't have to do it all at once. You can do it step by step, baby steps. You put one piece in place first. You focus on that. That's how we've had so much success with these workshops. You focus on these baby steps, get these pieces in place, and we do it in 2.5 days. The reason is it's because we forget about all the other crap. We get the pieces in place that get you to results, and it's a lot easier. Would you agree? It's a lot easier when you're getting leads, traffic leads, and sales, and actually making money. Do you think it's easier to grow your business and do more when you're actually making money? Absolutely, right? So that's what we're talking about here, is methodically, strategically taking steps to get you to where you're going. Now, remember I said earlier I would ask you if you wanted our help. Here's where we go. And pay attention to this, by the way. For those of you that want to do webinars like I'm doing, I'm going to give you the formula for doing these webinars absolutely free. For those of you that want to implement the list building stuff that we talked about, I'm going to give you the tools that you need to be able to create a capture page and grow your list. I'm giving you the templates, the copywriting templates. I'm going to give that stuff to you absolutely free. And not only that, I'm offering right now to give you our help with implementing all of this. And I'll even guarantee you that will help you generate traffic and leads within 2 days, or I think a day and a half actually, Fernie, isn't that right? Yep. But by the end of the 2 days, we'll pay you $200. How many of you think that's pretty damn compelling and irresistible? Remember we talked about the irresistible offer? Absolutely, right? I mean, if you're not compelled right now, if you're not interested and intrigued right now, check your pulse, right? This is the stuff I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you how to create irresistible offers. This is a scientific process that I took Kate and Andrew through, for example. In a day, they created their entire sales process that took them from making a few $1,000 or $5,000 a month to making $20,000 a month, literally using these formulas I'm going to offer you, and I'm going to give them to you for free. So that's what this is all about. So raise your hands if you want to hear about how to get our help. And put hands down real quick. Okay, go ahead and raise them starting now. If you want our help, if this looks like something that you would benefit from, if you really are serious about going from where you are to breaking through the income barriers, to firing your boss, to quitting your job, to stopping waiting in traffic, to not have to wake up to an alarm clock, if you're tired of that ball and chain of a job that you hate and you're ready to make 2014 your year, raise your hand. Raise your hand if this is something you want to hear about. Awesome. So what did I just do right there? What I did was I got you to take an action, a small action. And it's using this very process. I'll talk more about this and how you can get this process absolutely free in just a second. However, for those of you that said you wanted our help doing it, we're going to offer that help for the very first time. In fact, the least we've ever done this for was $5,000, and we're going to give that to you for much, much less than that. You're going to be shocked. Okay? It's the new No Excuses Summit, and what we're talking about is solving all of those problems, those big, hairy, audacious problems that we just talked about, and giving you everything that you need to get your business moving forward. We'll actually give it to you today, so if you're somebody who's ready to get started now, you'll have everything that you need, including the tools, including the systems that we use, including the templates that we use, the step-by-step instructions. You'll have that right away. So if you're a self-starter, great. If you want to help and you want you want it done with you, in other words, if you want our help walking you through that steps, you're going to get that as well. Okay? And guess what? The good news is when you say yes to getting our help, we'll give you all of our templates absolutely free. And we've never sold those for less than just one of the templates alone for $297. We're talking about, I'll share with you everything that you're going to get when you say yes to getting our help. So here's what you can expect when you do so, is you can expect a hands-on workshop approach for getting you into results really, really fast, because as we said before, nothing else matters except results. We're going to give you the exact same 100% solution, the 100% results that we got, the same curriculum. It's basically designed to leave no one behind and get everyone into results that follows through. And we will focus on actual implementation. We're going to overcome the fear, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to feel challenged, you're going to feel overwhelmed, you're going to feel frustrated, and if you weren't, I would be very, very worried. This is not a go to an event, sit on the sidelines and cheer and get motivated and then leave only to go back to your same BS patterns that you were in before. This is about implementation. This is about results. This is completely different than anything else you've seen before. This is designed specifically to help you get systems and processes put into place that you can do over and over again and improve and get you out of that crappy job that you hate and get you into results that you want. That's what this is all about. You will have your prep work already available for you by the time, actually, in the next couple of days, you'll get access to everything that you need. Also, over the weekend, you're going to have everything ready by the time you get there and show up at the event to be able to put into place. You're going to have guest trainers, people who've already been through the workshops we talked about, that are going to be pissed at us because we're offering this for less than $5,000 that they paid. They're going to give you advanced training. We're going to guarantee you results because, again, everything else is bullshit. So that's what you're going to get. Fernie, do you want to add anything else before we walk through this? I heard you say something.
No, I was laughing. Go for it.
Okay, cool. So here's what we do to make sure that you are going to walk away getting everything that you need to start getting results. Okay, we are going to walk you through uncovering your big, hairy, audacious problem in your marketplace. Everyone has problems of their own, and we're going to show you how to uncover those, identify them, and focus in on them so you understand exactly what that problem is and the pain that results in it, because we all know that the biggest motivator is what? Type it in there. I want to make sure you guys are with me. Pain, fear, exactly. Pain, pain, pain. Okay, guys, you're doing good. You're with me. Awesome. So we're going to show you how to find that pain. We're going to show you how to find or create the solution. Okay? I know you have questions. Well, what about this? I have this company. I have this product. I have this offer. I want to do this. It doesn't matter. This works for every business. These problems are universal. Problems are universal. Solutions are universal. And the process for getting the right solution in front of the person with the problem is universal. It works 100% of the time. We have people selling everything from how to brew your own beer to software to you name it, real estate, everything. So this works universally. We have one guy who got on stage last year and used these processes to sell his house, his own house. Remember that? Julius?
Julius, yeah.
Yep. So these are universally work for every kind of business for selling anything you want to help. We're going to help you uncover your unique selling proposition. It's really, really simple. You don't have to have a big story of your own. You don't have to, basically, you have to follow a process just like everything else in order to uncover your USP. We'll create your headlines together. We'll walk you through the same exercise we use to craft our winning headlines plus give you the templates. We'll help you build your capture pages. We will help set up advertising campaigns with you. We will guarantee you get traffic and leads. Where else can you get that kind of guarantee? Where else can you get this kind of training? The answer, I don't know. I've never seen it anywhere else. So, Fernie, I'm going to take a breath here, and I'm going to let you talk about the actual event itself, and what's going to happen on day 1 and day 2 and whatnot.
Yeah, so here's how things break down. On day 1, we'll be completely devoted to building your capture page and your thank you page and setting up a very simple autoresponder sequence. So this seems like a lot, like a unique selling proposition, lead magnet. We're using a lot of jargon, but really what it comes down to is creating that one page with one headline and an opt-in box. And so we'll be giving you templates, so you fill in the blank templates, you can create your headlines, and basically get that done on the first day by Friday, so that by day two in the morning, you're ready for traffic. And so day 2, we start with traffic, and literally the entire Saturday morning, all of you will have your pages up and running, your capture page. Again, very easy to do once you follow our process. And you'll be able to just launch your first Facebook ads exactly the way I explained it on this webinar. Using newsfeed ads, we'll show you how to launch your first Facebook ads so you can start generating traffic and leads literally by lunch on that same day. And that same morning, we'll also have you launch your first pay-per-view ads for those of you who want to do pay-per-view advertising. If you want to stick with Facebook, that's fine. We recommend you'll also try pay-per-view. And so by the time lunch is over, during lunch, we'll have some breakout rooms where people will have Wi-Fi and people will be able to work in groups and help each other launch your campaigns. If there's any technical hangups, we'll resolve those. So that by the time lunch is over, everything is pretty much done in terms of taking your first steps towards producing results. Everything will, even at the workshop, in addition to showing you how it's done and doing click-by-click setup, at the event, we'll even give you some tutorials, which if you want to review those tutorials during lunch and make sure you set everything up right, you'll do that. So that Saturday afternoon, we can move on to advanced training. So while your campaigns are running, you're generating leads, we can then move on to some of the juicier training from some of our advanced trainers on ad optimization. We explore other traffic sources, more advanced conversion strategies. So we're literally skipping the we're spending an entire day and a half on your beginner phase of your business and moving on to advanced marketer status in a single weekend. Normally, the beginner phase of your business for the average person will take them at least 2 years, like it did me. So we're basically helping you fast forward that part and move right into the juicy stuff of marketing.
So I'm going to paint the picture for you of what you can expect here. This is unlike like I said, it's unlike anything else you've seen. You're going to show up on a Thursday. Is that correct, Fernie?
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to show up on a Thursday. You're going to get checked into your hotel. You might see some of us or other people you recognize at the bar. First thing in the morning, is it Friday morning that we're starting, or is it
Friday at noon?
Friday at noon. Okay, so sorry, the itineraries changed a little bit. So Friday afternoon, literally, you're gonna be able to get started with your business. You're gonna walk in there a little bit unsure. You're gonna walk in there a little bit like, oh my God, I might have bitten off more than I can chew. You're gonna say to yourself, holy crap, I hope I can do this. And by the end of Friday, you're gonna feel, and I'm just being completely brutally honest with you, you're gonna feel challenged, stretched, a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit confused. Saturday, you're going to come in. You're going to get a good night's rest. Maybe not. Maybe you'll be up all night worrying. But Saturday, you're going to get up. You're going to start doing the traffic stuff. And here's what's going to happen. And I want you to picture this, because here's what's going to happen after lunch is you're going to see people all over the room going, I just got my first lead. I just got a sale. And then eventually you're going to see something come in on your computer, and you're going to go, holy crap, I just got a lead, or holy crap, I just got a sale, and you're going to jump up and you're going to be thrilled and excited like you never were before, just because this is actually happening for you. And that's the big shift that you're going to have there, is you're going to go, well, I've seen other people doing this. I've seen people on stage. I've seen people online doing webinars. I never thought that I could get these kinds of results. Picture that. I want you to really imagine that, because that's what we're offering you here at this event. So day 3, advanced training, go ahead and talk a little bit more about that, because Sunday is where the magic happens. That's when you're not confused, overwhelmed anymore. Things snap into place. The puzzle pieces become very clear, and you're actually ready and excited because you see how much potential this has for your life. You see how this can really change the game for you in a big, major way. And that's when you start getting excited, and that's when we start having more fun. So I'm warning you, day 1, day 2, a little overwhelming. Midway through day 2, you're going to feel a little bit more clear, but by day 3, it's going to start making sense to you. You're going to be seeing results, and this is where the magic happens.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, day 3 is all about advanced training. Basically, things that you can do to build on top of the successes you've already created out of that event. We'll be going more in depth with email newsletters. Like we're going to be presenting a 30-day plan for making money with email, and it'll be presented by our friend and the top email guy in the world, Ben Settle, one of the best copywriters out there. He'll be helping you craft a plan, a 30-day game plan for making more money from your list over the course of 30 days. And Tim Rowe will also be walking you through his exact sales and webinar presentation training. Basically, what he did right now with this webinar, he'll be walking you through a templated version of it, which you can use for anything you're selling. And he'll literally be giving you a fill-in-the-blank PowerPoint template so you can craft your own webinar presentation, or even use this if you're ever invited to speak at a live event or speak in front of people. You can use this exact template to actually sell whatever it is you're promoting. And he'll walk you through it. He'll do a mock presentation right in front of you and tell you at every point what he's doing, what the psychology is, everything. So this is, Tim, for this type of training, it's at least, if someone wanted to spend a day with you to go through it, it's like at least 10 grand to do it if you even offered that, right?
Yeah, I invested 10 grand to learn a formula that didn't work very well for me. It worked, but not very effectively. So I tweaked it, changed it, optimized it, improved it for me. And every time I do webinars, I get exact, precise results. Every time I speak on stage, I'm number 1 or number 2 closing because I follow this formula the way that I developed it. And it's actually changing constantly. And my latest version of it won't be available unless you're at this event and you're there, because it's improved by probably about 50% since my last rendition of it. And so I'm going to give you guys access to that. You're going to get access to the one I've been using up until recently right away, and then I'll give you the update live at the event so that you can start using the most current stuff that's working before anyone else has it. So that's a major, major advantage for you. Now, I really quickly, there's people asking for the order link because they're pretty much sold. They understand they're getting so much value here. So I want to go ahead and hand that out. I want to go through the offer, and then we'll come back to the trainers. Then I want to answer your questions. I know a lot of people are asking questions right now. How do I get this? When is it? Da, da, da. So I want to give you all those answers really quick before we get into the trainers that Fernie's going to share with you. Then we get to Q&A. I just want to go over this offer. Here's the deal. Come spend these 3 days with us. Invest in yourself. Come learn everything. Implement, most importantly. It's all about results, right? Everything else is bullshit. So come with us. Sit down with us. Watch over our shoulders. Follow along. Actually implement. Start getting results with us, okay? Here's how freaking convinced I am. Here's how certain I am that this is going to work for you, and that Fernie's certain that this is going to work for me, is you have a can't lose, zero risk guarantee. There's no reason to pass up on this. Literally, you got to be there. Even the bonuses alone I'm going to give you absolutely free for saying yes are worth 10 times the value. Here's the deal. Come to the event. If by the end of the second day you don't feel you got at least 10 times more than your money's worth, by lunchtime Sunday, we'll refund 100% of your money, plus we'll even pay you $200 cash. There is absolutely no way that you can lose in this deal. And here's what we're going to do to sweeten things up and make it even more attractive to you. Here's one of the resources that we refer to during our workshops, where you can learn how to to craft offers that work, just like we talked about, how to actually make money when people say no to what you're offering, and make money with your own information products. This is really how you go to the evolutionary path that everyone in this industry has done. Ray and Fernie have done a fantastic job at laying it all out for you in the Attraction Marketing Formula course. It's everything you need to know to get a quick start. This is the quick start guide to getting results fast. Okay, this is like your handy reference guide for getting into results fast. You're also going to get their Facebook cheat sheets course. That's everything you need to start doing and implementing that Facebook strategy that they shared with you, that Fernie shared with you a moment ago. This is how to do it before you even show up at the event. If you want to jump on board and get going, great. This was sold for $197. It's definitely more valuable than that. Now here's their latest thing that they haven't even made real yet. It's an idea still. They don't even have a name for it. But so much is changing, and we've learned so much in working with people and getting people into results. They've created a bonus number 3 that you're going to get before anyone else. It doesn't even have a name yet, codename Geronimo. It's how to get results very, very fast using the strategies with pay-per-view that he just talked about. This will be available, what, in 2 weeks, you said?
Yep.
Okay, this is a retail value of $1,000. Picture this, being able to drive traffic anytime you want, literally get the most targeted traffic for anything you want to offer. How powerful, how valuable is that skill for you? Mm-hmm. Bonus number 4, you're going to get a 30-day trial to Elite Marketing Pro. That's going to give you everything from our authority blogging system, our content broadcaster I didn't even talk about and don't have time to talk about, our capture page creator that we just mentioned moments ago on how to create capture pages in 5 minutes or less. You're going to get the What's Working Now Platinum membership, every career path, everything that makes sense, everything in the world where that requires skills, you have to have ongoing continuing education. Nursing, I was a firefighter at one time. I was a medic at one time. We had continuing education constantly to stay up on our game and be able to stay on the cutting edge. What's Working Now gives you that. It's the most undervalued resource out there, and it's literally lives have changed from this. Every 6- and 7-figure earner, by the way, in the industry has a subscription to What's Working Now. It's included along with this, absolutely free for 30 days. If you add everything up that we just said here, we're talking about over $6,000 in value, $6,855 in total value. That includes the No Excuses Summit workshop curriculum, the same stuff that other people invested $5,000 to learn. You're getting included. Attraction Marketing Formula, $97 value, $197 for Facebook cheat sheets, $1,000 for the pay-per-view mastery course. We don't even know what it's called yet. Elite Marketing Pro system, that's $297 per month value. What's Working Now Platinum, a $97 per month value. That's a very real, not made up, not fictitious at all. This is the real deal. That's over $6,000, almost $7,000 in real world value. I want to ask you something before I give you the ridiculous offer. Remember I said earlier the motorcycle that I wanted to buy? That's it. You see it pictured on the bottom of your screen there. I just picked that up on Saturday after putting the slide together for people last week. And it's all because of the systems that you're going to learn. It's all because I know how to generate traffic, build capture pages, create irresistible offers, and get people who have problems, get a solution for them that works. How many of you think it would be valuable? Would it be worth it to you to have the ability to generate traffic on demand? Raise your hands if you think it would be worth $6,800 to create traffic. What if you sucked at creating offers, but you could find other people's offers and plug in traffic and make commissions? Would it be worth $7,000 to be able to make a few $1,000s per month? Because that's what we're talking about here. The ability to drive traffic, that skill set right there, and just find good offers to drive traffic to, you can make a few grand a month. So that alone, raise your hands if you think that's a worthwhile investment. And by the way, go find another investment out there, another opportunity out there where you can get a 300% return on your investment in a matter of months. Go check out the stock market and tell me if you find something, because I want to know what it is. We're talking about $7,000, right? $7,000 one time to get you the skill sets. We're going to make a crazy offer here in just a second. It's nowhere near $7,000, but would it be worth it for you to be able to build capture pages and build your list on autopilot? Do what Caesar did. Would it be worth $7,000 to make an extra $300 per day like Caesar did? Would it be worth it to be able to generate hundreds of leads before you even leave? No excuses, like David did. Would it be worth it one time to be able to get a skill set that can pay you dividends for month in, month out, for years to come? Would it be worth $7,000? Raise your hands if you think it would. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. And would it be worth it to you
What if you only did half as good? What if you only did 1/4 as good? What if you really just didn't do, what if you just half-assed everything? And what if you got 1/4 of the results? Would it be worth making a couple $1,000s per month, or maybe even $500 per month? What if you could make $500 per month for years to come? Would it still be worth $7,000 for you to learn the skill sets? These are the money skill sets. These are the things that you need to be successful in any online business. Would it be worth a one-time investment of $7,000? Absolutely it would, right? So obviously we've sold this in the past for $5,000, and that's just for the workshop, by the way. But we wanted to make this absolutely affordable. I'm breaking the price down to the ridiculous right now. This is one of the things I talk about when I put on webinars like this, when I do presentations like this, is breaking it down to the ridiculous. Obviously, it would be worth $2,000 to come and learn these skill sets that can be life-changing for you, that have already changed lives, just like you. People just like you have come to this event, invested $5,000. Obviously, we could do it for $2,000. It would still be well worth it. But here's what we're going to do. We wanted to make this affordable and accessible to anyone and everyone. We wanted to take away all excuses. The event, after all, is called No Excuses, and give you every reason to say yes to your future, say yes to the dream lifestyle, say yes to building your business, to firing your boss. And we're doing this for an incredible and ridiculously low one-time investment of only $497 that gets you everything that we just talked about, all of the bonuses, including the courses, including every step-by-step system, plus our personal help getting you from where you are to into results, $497. Tell me that's not an unbelievable deal. Now, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to make this affordable for you, no matter where you are, no matter what your budget is. 3 payments of $177 get you there. Okay, you're going to get all the same benefits, and we're making it easy for you to actually finance this. In fact, when you plug into our strategies, we've had people that have gotten into profit just with the Elite Marketing Pro, which you're getting a 30-day free trial to. We've had people get into profit in Elite Marketing Pro in a matter of a couple of days by plugging in traffic to that one offer. So you could literally have this funded, your entire trip funded by the time you even show up. That's the kind of power we're talking about here. Now, in order to get there, all you need to do to lock in your spot and say yes is go to noexcusessummit.com/go. Now, I want to make this extremely valuable to the first action takers, the first people who move forward right now and claim their spots. You're going to want to be in the first few people that are already going to that page right now, probably typing in their credit card information. You're going to want to go to noexcusessummit.com, and by the way, you're going to end up at a page that looks just like this. Okay, you'll have on the left the ability to get your ticket at $497, or right below for a 3-pay option right there. And on the right, if you want to bring somebody else, no problem, at $100. $100 extra bucks to bring your spouse, a business partner, somebody else who might have skill sets that you want to leverage. Anyone you want. You could even split the cost of the ticket with that person that you bring, making this even more affordable for you. So that's the offer right there. Let me go back to my slides. That's it. Once again, noexcusessummit.com/go. Now, I want to make this even sweeter for you. Remember I said in the beginning, for those of you that do want to take action, that do want to put the whole entire sales system in place, or what if you just want to put your capture page together right now? What if you want to do that? You could literally have it up by this time tomorrow and driving traffic and actually making sales by this time tomorrow by following the processes that I reveal here. This is called the Ultimate Sales Funnel and Marketing Mastery Bootcamp. This is yours included, absolutely free, when you're one of the first, how many people did we say, Fernie? We did this before. We weren't going to offer it again. We had people that missed the last webinar we did, so we're going to open it up for a very brief number of people. How many people, Fernie? What?
For this, I would say the first 20 people.
People have paid $497 for this course, so we can't do it for that many people, so we're going to do it for 20, you said?
Yeah, first 20 people out of this webinar. So
okay, on this webinar. First 20 people who say yes, who go to noexcusessummit.com/go and claim your spot, you're going to get this fast mover bonus absolutely free, easily a $2,000 value. It's better than the other sales funnel courses that are taught out there. Other people have tried to basically steal what I've taught here. This domain, you'll see, I've owned since 2005. I had a predecessor to this course that I did with 2 gentlemen you might have heard of, Mike Filsame and Jonathan Mizell, way back in 2006. and we taught people how to build sales funnels way back then. I've taken everything, all the newest stuff that I've learned, implemented, and put them into systems and processes that my team to this day uses to create things like webinars, like the one you're on right now. Every piece of the puzzle's there on creating profitable webinars, from setting up your registration page, every piece of the puzzle for setting up your capture page and getting it going and building your list. Every strategy is right there for you. It's the This is the stuff we use at our $5,000 workshops, right there at your fingertips. That's included easily at $297 value. Now I want to make this even a better deal for those of you that move quickly, who take action. And I can only do this we've already got a bunch of people from the last webinar that said yes to this. We're going to probably take less for this one. Is that right, Fernie?
Yeah.
So do we already have orders coming in?
Yes, we do.
How many do we have?
We have almost 10.
Okay, so we'll do this for the first 15 people. I'll go ahead. Fernie and I are going to do personal reviews of your capture pages. We'll get on. We'll do personal reviews. We'll either get on a webinar together and we'll review it, tell you what to change, tweak, or we'll do videos. If we can't get you on a live webinar, we'll do videos. And we'll basically say, hey, here's what you need to do. Try this, tweak that, change this headline to this. So we'll do that for you. We'll give you the personal kind of hands-on experience that only happens at our $5,000 workshops, where we have 25 people or less in the room. So we'll give that to you when you're one of the first 15 people to say yes. That's getting close right now, by the way. So you need to go to noexcusessummit.com/go. Let's just add the value up to everything that we just talked about. Okay, along with the 2 bonuses that we just added, that's $7,682 plus in real value. I can't even put a price on the sales copy review, because to get my time to do that, for me to do a rewrite or change a capture page, easily $500 value for me to do that. It takes me time. Yes, I can do it in less time than most people. However, when you get a page that jumps from 10% conversions to 50% conversions, how much bigger can your list get? How much faster? It's absolutely priceless. Once again, this is not about us. This is not about our results. This is not about anything except your results, because everything else is bullshit. You need to go right now to noexcusessummit.com. I know you have a lot of questions. I only have one question for you. What are you waiting for? You need to act fast. This is an offer that is very time sensitive if you want those fast mover bonuses. So we're literally talking about an extra $1,000 in value for those of you that are sitting there right now thinking about coming. Now, I want to open it up to Q&A in just a minute, but first, Fernie probably wants to talk a little bit about some of the presenters that are coming to this event. I want to keep that to a minimum because I want to get to all the questions people are asking. A lot of people are limited on time. We've already gone over on the time that we've said. We wanted to keep the content to 90 minutes, which we did. The offer part went a little bit over, so I want to get to questions extremely quickly. Once more, though, if you're sitting on the fence, you're in a rush, go claim your spot. There's a refund guarantee. If you can't make it or the dates don't work for you, figure it out. Do everything you can. But if it doesn't work for you for whatever reason, no problem. Just let us know. We'll kick back your investment. No questions asked, no problems there, and we'll give your ticket to somebody else. Not a big deal. So if you're on the fence, you can't figure out how to get flights right now, and you don't have time, go ahead and grab your spot, get the bonuses, and then figure out the rest later. That's my advice to you.
Yeah.
Fernie?
No, that's exactly what I was going to say. So if you're someone that thinks you can't make it for whatever reason because you're on the other side of the world, get your tickets anyway. One, you're going to get the bonuses. The other thing is, if we do decide, now we're heavily debating this, it might not happen. If we do decide to get live stream, then we'll give you access to live stream if you absolutely can't make it. Obviously, being there with us and being hands-on with us is a much better experience. But the alternative, it will give you live stream. If we don't have live stream, we're still recording it, and we'll basically credit the purchase of your ticket towards the recording of the training, so you can do it in person. At your home anytime you want. So you can't lose getting your ticket, making that investment, and if for whatever reason you can't make it, no worries. We'll hook you up with equivalent or greater value in the terms of either live stream or the recordings of the event. And that these bonuses that we're giving you right now are not available to other people who are not on this webinar. We are actually, last night, we took the PPV course off the table for everybody else. The ultimate sales funnel, that's not being offered to anyone else. If you're on this webinar, you made this investment in 2 hours of training for yourselves. We know you're serious. This is essentially, we qualified you, which is why we're giving you these extra bonuses, the free consults on your capture pages. That's exclusive to you. And so the way we'll know that you were on this webinar is you need to email us. We're not going to give these bonuses to everybody, but we want you to email us. And let me grab the screen real quick, Tim.
Okay, let me stop showing. Oh, I right-click you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want you to email us so let us know that you came from this webinar. There we go. So I'm showing my screen right now. Email us at mysupport@noexcusesummit.com and title the subject line of that email, Tuesday webinar bonuses. Tuesday webinar bonuses, that's a subject. Because we're not automatically going to give you all these bonuses because at least two, actually 4 of them have expired. But if you're on this webinar, you made the investment, we're going to honor that, give you special treatment. You just simply send us an email with the subject line here at mysupport@noexcusesummit.com, and we'll hook you up with these bonuses we mentioned on this webinar. And so you don't have to worry about that. And like I said, get your tickets, and if you can't make it, we'll give you equivalent value for your ticket. Or if you just want a refund, I think you can get a refund up until a month before the event. If that's what you want, then that's cool too. So either way, you can't lose. So let me go through some of the people we'll be having at this awesome event. So like I said, the first day and a half will be about getting you results, going through a workshop. Your primary trainers, instructors will be myself, Raymond Fong, Tim Irway, and Matt Crystal. So we're going to be day 1. Day 2 is pretty much focused on getting results. Second half of day 2 is about
advanced. You're cutting out a little bit, brother.
Okay.
You're there's weird stuff going on, so just FYI.
Okay. So starting on Saturday, we get into advanced training with our advanced trainers. I talked a little bit about Ben Settle. He'll be giving you a 30-day email money machine. He says, and I believe him, a guaranteed strategy to making money. Every single person he's put this training through has made money through email. We have Andrew and Kate McShay. We spoke about them earlier. Like our awesome students who last year started from zero, and in less than a year now have a 20K per month business. Their bread and butter is video marketing, so they'll be doing training on pretty much exactly what they did to get the results they did in under a year. They built a list of 15,000, and right now, Tim, they're on your heels. Aside from magnetic sponsoring, they're our #1 affiliate for No Excuses. They're selling the most tickets out of anyone, with the exception of magnetic sponsoring. And so that just goes to show you, being dominant in this industry doesn't even have to take that long either, and they're proof that you can do it. And literally about a couple months ago, they didn't believe they can break $5,000 a month in their business.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Picture coming to this event, and picture next year being right behind me as an affiliate to promote this event. I mean, that's literally what we're talking about. They were here at No Excuses last year. They had no results then. They got to like $5,000 a month really, really quickly just from No Excuses. They went to our workshop. They got even more results. And then they spent a day with me recently and went to $20,000. Picture having these kinds of results that quickly as they have. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's literally what we're talking about here. And you know what? The potential that you have, you're only limited by your ability to take action on what we share with you, because we're giving you the processes. You need to look nowhere else, really, to get to where they've gotten. This is it. So absolutely take action. Once again, noexcusessummit.com/go is how you lock in your spot. Let's jam through this. We've got questions that are coming in, and I want to respect people's time.
Real quick, more advanced training from Ray Higdon on content generation. So, Ray writes emails every single day, blog posts every single day. How does he come up with these ideas? He'll be sharing that with you. Andrew Murray will be sharing some advanced...
Your sound is horrible, Fernie. I'm just letting you know you're...
Is it other people?
Your sound is cutting out, in and out. I don't know what's going on.
Is it for other people as well?
Yep. Yes, Charlie just said he had bad sound as well. So.
All right. Well, too bad. Okay. Well, let me just real quick finish. Andrew Murray, six-figure Facebook strategies, advanced training on Facebook beyond what we're going to teach you in the first couple of days. The inner game of success, how to make sure you can.
Sorry about this, guys.
Results. I'm sorry?
Okay, so I'll talk since we can't hear Fernie. I don't know if it's just on my end. Lisa Grossman, she's awesome. She's a multi-million-dollar earner in networking, and she does it all by community building. And she's going to share with you how she sells with stories, how she uses stories for every aspect of her business. We've got Greg Gomez up next, who's going to talk about closing leads without rejection. He's built his company to actually do phone sales. That's like what he specializes in is closing leads. And so he's going to teach you the strategies that his company uses to close leads very successfully. Can you scroll down if you can hear me, Fernie? I can't see past Greg.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, dude, it just cuts in and out. It's horrible.
Okay.
Don't know what the cause is, but there's static. It's like you talking, then it's static and nothing. So
Weird. Okay.
yeah, I got you now though. If you want to continue, but I really want to get to Q&A, so let's.
Did you mute me?
No, I hear you.
Okay, weird. The GoToWebinar says I'm muted.
Oh.
All right. Anyway, we're just to close this out. Greg
Once
Gomez
again,
will be
static.
talking about basically closing your leads, especially if you have high ticket items. You sell multiple thousands of dollars worth per item. Greg will be helping you close those people without rejection, pain free, without embarrassment. And finally, the crown jewel of the
God.
event.
Okay, Fernie, enough.
Yeah.
You got to stop, dude. It's bad. It's just static. I'll do it.
Okay.
Jim Yagi, Google AdWords. Now, here's the cool thing. Jim used to run, back in the day, he used to run our ads for us. He used to do thousands of dollars in advertising spends for us and made us tens of thousands of dollars per week. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars per week just in Google AdWords traffic for us. So this guy knows a thing or two. Here's the problem, is back in 2008, Google basically put the kibosh on everyone in our industry and said, nope, no more. Boom, cutting off our business. Literally, people died overnight after Google did this. There are businesses that were around back then and thriving, and overnight were out of business. We managed to stay ahead and be able to succeed and be great. However, we've missed Google AdWords ever since. Well, Jim knows how to get people on Google right now. He's doing it for us personally as we speak. As a matter of fact, an email just came in saying, hey, we got this change to make on one of the landing pages, and let's go with this ad right now. So it's all happening for us. This guy knows his stuff and knows how to use Google AdWords. So when you take the processes and systems that you learn for Facebook and you take that and apply it on another medium, it still works. A lot of this stuff is universal and easily translatable over to Google AdWords, and Jim's going to talk to you about how to do that. So really, really fantastic training. You want to move on, Fernie?
Oh, that's it, man.
That's it.
Those are
social. Okay, cool. And then we have our panel as well. These are people that know their stuff when it comes to really, really specific skills that they've utilized to get where they are, like Diane Hockman, who's awesome. She's one of the only people I've ever met that's been able to build a six-figure business by free social media methods. That's what most of her business has been built on. We've got Michelle Pesca-Solido, who's a fantastic person at figuring out Facebook marketing and teaching it to other people successfully. So you're going to learn some of her secrets as far as Facebook ads. She's got her own way of doing things, and she's got some tricks up her sleeve that you're definitely going to want to see about how to kick up your results for Facebook. Scroll down. Then we've got our six-figure gold nugget panel. 6 figures, 6 months. These are all graduates of our workshops. These are all people that are getting results. This is the cool thing. These are people that were sitting in the same seat you were sometimes, some of them last year, and have gotten results. This past year, huge results. Chris is one of them. Aaron's one of them. Matt is one of them. Jorge is one of them. Nick Hobner is one of the people that came to No Excuses and got results. Vitaly is our own internal copywriter that writes our emails every day. You might have gotten emails from him in the past. So these are all guys that are in the trenches turning, like Nick shows here, $77 into $2,000 with just one Facebook ad that he ran in a number of days. So that was a fantastic thing. So you're going to learn all their best secrets for really kicking up and supercharging your results, and they're going to share those things, the biggest, most impactful secrets in the short amount of time. I love this panel. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's pretty much it for the presenters and the event itself. I want to get to Q&A. I know a lot of you had questions. If you did ask questions, we've been slammed with questions, so I'm going to ask you to retype your questions here so that we can go ahead and address each and every one of those. Oh, cool. Thank you, Gene, for that. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate both you and the ENAS organization. Ramiro at the help desk has been amazingly helpful. Awesome stuff. Great stuff. Okay, Ken, I'll defer to you for this one, but I'll ask the question. Fernie, with Facebook, would you use your name or your business website name?
It doesn't matter. I would recommend your name.
Okay.
Because it's universal. You're never going to change your name, I hope.
Very cool. And we've got someone, this is a question for you because it's in Spanish. Muchas gracias por la invitación. Esperando con... I know, I'm not even going to try. How did I do that so far, though?
Horrible.
Okay, awesome.
It sounded like you had static and you didn't have static.
Damn it.
Does she love the information in Spanish? We're working on getting this information translated. The biggest piece is making it for us. We lose money last year when we did the live stream in Spanish. We lost money, so we need more people in the Spanish community and other communities to want to learn this information. Otherwise, it's not worthwhile for other people to invest in the resources to make it happen. So if there's someone in the Spanish community and they're guaranteed they're going to bring a bunch of people either to No Excuses or to join us via live stream, then let us know.
Cool. I'll answer the last question. You can answer the one before that. What's the best way to maximize conversions for recruitment into programs such as Elite Marketing Pro or Empower Network? Great question. And it all goes back to those 5 things that we said before. First and foremost, you have to hone in on a big, hairy, audacious problem. The big problem or pain point that you want to hone in on, or the big problem you want to solve. And, solving problems is what this is all about. Even if let's say you're a golfer, right, and you want to improve your swing. Well, your lack of having, you wanting to improve your golf swing is a problem for you, right? I mean, I think it's silly, but people spend tens of thousands of dollars a week on one of my friend's companies learning how to improve their golf swing, right? That's a problem for them, not having the best golf swing that they could have. And so they invest in, so that he basically markets that. He doesn't market how to play golf better. He markets how to improve your golf swing. Very specific. Do you see the difference? Mm-hmm. So honing in on that big, hairy, audacious problem, we teach you how to do that. We teach you how to craft your USP accordingly and present a solution using an irresistible offer that brings them from being curious, just like you were when you open your email, just like you were when you clicked on the link, saw the registration page, just like you were when you registered for this event. And we teach you how to go from that curiosity to getting their attention to getting them moved through the channel into becoming customers. That's the whole idea of how this process works, and again, it's universal. So what's the best way to get those 5 steps effectively implemented in your business for you specifically? Do you want to answer the one from Ken before that?
So Ken Bulford?
Yeah, regular Facebook or business Facebook FP. I don't know what he means by that.
Business Facebook fan page. Now, don't use it's actually against the terms, the conditions for Facebook to be using your personal profile for business. So your Facebook fan page, definitely.
Cool. Okay, what's the, hold on. Great one. If you're already comfortable with setting up dark post Facebook ads, but we're not seeing the conversions, what would you focus on now? Easy. Really great question, but an easy answer for you. If your ads aren't converting, if you're not getting clicks, you need to focus on writing your ad. You need to focus on the picture. I'm going to let you elaborate on that a little bit. But here, just as from a very high level standpoint, I want to share this with you. When we looked at that sales funnel diagram earlier, that picture of the sales funnel that started with traffic, then went to capture page, then went to offer. there's always going to be one place that you're going to want to focus the most effort and energy on, and that's wherever there is the least conversion. So if your ad isn't converting, you need to focus on what's going to make that ad convert better. The capture page doesn't matter at that point. If you're not getting traffic to the capture page, you can't do anything anyways. So the capture page is important to set up and have in place. Of course, it's more important than the traffic because you got to send the traffic somewhere. However, if you're not getting clicks from your ad, you got to fix that. We teach you all of our ad strategies, and you need to go back to Ray and Fernie's course when you grab this No Excuses ticket. You get that their Facebook course right away. They talk about crafting ads, effective ads. So you definitely want to refer to that. Fernie, go ahead and elaborate on that a little bit if you want.
Yeah, well, at the event, we actually will go through the psychology of traffic. I mean, how you do, not how you set up an ad, but how do you target people so you're attracting the proper audience. So we'll get into all that stuff and how to find exactly the type of person that wants what you have. So that's how you improve conversions. Find people that already want what you have, and so we'll show you that.
Cool. Okay, Christy's already on board. That's cool. Okay, you're getting clicks, no sales. What about opt-ins? So we have to look at every step. So if you're getting a good click-through rate, which is what, 1% or above, Fernie?
It depends on the traffic medium, but on newsfeed posts, then yes, 1%.
So 1% or above. If you're getting decent clicks, great. The next step is where do they go after that? Are they going to a sales page? Are they going to a capture page? They should be going to some sort of capture mechanism so that you can grab their information and follow up with them. And so then you need to work on that. And if they're opting in, and I'd say a conversion rate to look at is at least 20% at least on Facebook. I would shoot more for 30 plus. That's been our results. We'll tell you about how to do that at the event. We can't get into it now, but you should be looking at right around 25%-ish for a capture page conversion on Facebook. And then of that, about 10% of those people should be buying whatever your offer is. So if you don't have numbers at around that level, then you need to go back and look at where the breakdown is. That's basically how we look at conversions, is we look at it all the way through. So we'll get more into that at the event. We'll dive in deep. We'll look at examples, case studies, all that good stuff. So very cool. All right. Any last questions before we call this a wrap? It's been 2.5 hours. You're welcome. Fantastic. So did you guys get a lot of value from this? Was this good stuff? Did you learn the strategic pieces that you need to be focusing on? Are things starting to click for you? I think this was the biggest thing I could leave you with right now, and that Fernie can leave you with, is understanding where to go, where to look, where to shine the light in your own business to get the results that you want to get. And I hope that we've done our job in that respect. And now it's time to hone in on those pieces and really learn them. And as we talked about before, it's not as difficult as you thought it was, is it? It's a lot easier than you thought it was now that you know. And so congratulations on being here and getting that information, because that's what's going to be the game changer for you. So Fernie, do you have any closing comments? Do you want to call it a wrap?
No, I mean, it's about finding the information or the training that they need in order to get results. We're the only event that can do this, that have proven to do this. Other people have hype. They put a lot of instant this or guaranteed this in their headlines. We're the only event, the only training company where our reality matches other people's hype, and it's not anecdotal stories. It's actual data, meaning when 100% of people can come to our events and produce results, that's when it's no longer, we're not lifting up and picking and choosing our success stories. The majority of our students are now succeeding with what we teach them, and so no other company can say that. And if people come, it'll be well worth their time and investment.
Absolutely. This is about you. This is about finally having the dream life that you've always wanted, the reason you came into this business. And so you need to go jump at this, grab it. You don't have anything to lose. There's no reason to not take us up on this. Even the bonuses alone are worth it. However, we really want you to do anything and everything to actually be at the event, because that's where the game change is going to come for you. That's where the results come in person, and that's where the guarantee holds for you, where we guarantee you results. So once again, noexcusessummit.com/go. I really appreciate all of you being on here. Your participation was awesome. You made it a lot more fun. with your questions and with your interaction. So thank you so much for that, guys. And Fernie, thank you for being on here with me. Super excited to seeing you all in Vegas. Let's go have some fun and let's learn and let's take action.
And let's have a margarita while in Vegas.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Let's call it a wrap.
All right, take care.
Goodbye. We'll see you in Vegas.